Welcome to the Life Turkey podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Life Junkies podcast. I am Mike, your host, and I am joined today again by Chris Johnson. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Mike. Are you all right, mate?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Really good. Big day tomorrow for me, work. Transfer deadline day tomorrow.
Oh, that's it. You're going to be out all night, aren't you?
No, that's me all day, mate, tomorrow. I've got Steve Bruce's unveiling at Sheffield Wednesday and then an afternoon and an evening stood outside Huddersfield's training ground.
I can't remember who it was. I was listening to, I think it was a Totally Football show last week, I think. And it was one of the female presenters on there, and she said they were at Tottenham on the day that Sissoko signed. And that because nothing was going on and nothing was apparently supposed to happen at Tottenham, they'd gone to grab something to eat.
Yeah.
And they'd gone down to King's Cross to get something to eat. And then they suddenly got a text saying, oh, by the way, Sissoko looks like he's going to Spurs, so we're going to need you on earlier than expected. And just at that moment, they got to Victoria Line and it was closed.
Oh, no.
Desperately hailing a taxi to get back in time.
Tomorrow can really be a bit of a tram smash. It's good. You know what? Transfer deadline day gets a lot of stick. And obviously Sky gets a lot of stick because people say it's ruined football, although the money it's put into football has obviously made it more popular. Deadline day, I love it. I've loved it. I love it. I have to work on it, but I love it if I was watching it at home. I just find it interesting. I find it fun. I don't see what the problem is with it, me at all. So getting to work on it every deadline day, it's something I look forward to.
I'd never say it's ruined football. I think sometimes it feels like they're trying to flog a dead horse with it, but
yeah,
nothing much is going on.
Yeah, but I suppose that's like anything, isn't it? You know, you've just got to promote, and that's what they do. And you can't say money's ruined the English game. Given, look at the stadiums that's been built with the money that's come through. Look at the players who's come from around the world to play here. You know, it's not the money that's ruined football. It's the people who've spent it in the wrong places.
Well, I definitely can't say money is ruined football being a Chelsea fan, but
yeah, I was going to say pot kettle black.
Right, so those are introductions over the way. We're going to take a short break and we will come back with part 1, Takeover Phoenix.
This is a Life Turkey podcast.
And we are back. So, Chris,
yes.
As an NXT virgin, before we start talking about the matches themselves, going to give me a brief overview of how you felt after watching your first Takeover.
Yeah, definitely. So I've seen no NXT really. I watched a tiny little bit of some kind of preview before last week, and I've got to say I'm now an NXT convert. I really enjoyed it. I thought the wrestling was top class. The stuff around it was good. You know, the crowd are really into it. The atmosphere looked good. Everybody was bouncing off each other. There was some cracking wrestlers who I'm sure we're going to talk about now. So yeah, you could say I'm definitely a convert to NXT.
And there's a lot of good guys who are coming up, but it's also with the way NXT is, with a more intimate setting, I feel that you're allowed to do more with wrestling. I'm going to talk about a certain match on the pay-per-view that fell flat with a crowd that I really enjoyed myself, which I personally think would have been perfect and really well received if it was on the Takeover, because it's a different kind of crowd, it's a different setting. You can't, in an arena, not everyone's there around, you know, it's a different but yeah, I will get onto that a bit later. So you've argued with me a bit on our show notes here with our first match, which is the tag team titles. Raw Raiders taking on the Undisputed Era. Now I've made it quite clear on the last podcast, on a few wrestling podcasts, I'm not a massive fan of Raw Raiders. Not that I particularly dislike them, but I'm looking for more from them. But you have a different opinion, it seems.
So this is the first time I've seen them, so I didn't know what to expect. So obviously the show starts. The entrance straight away, I thought, wow, like, who are these lads? Great entrance. They come down, and I just thought they were great. You know, the two big blokes. They've got some great moves. They just won me over straight away. I really liked them. They're probably now, because I think the main roster tag team division's so poor. They're like now my favourite tag team that's out there. Honestly, I was like, I can't wait to see some more of them. I was that impressed.
Are you trying to tell me that you like them more than Shane McMahon and The Miz?
Yeah,
Honestly.
unbelievably, yes. Just ever so much I like them more than them. So I just thought there's something about them. There's something different, you know. You don't see big lads doing cartwheels and somersaults, and and the crowd seem to dig them a bit. And I just think they've probably got quite a bright future. And you look, there's a tag team what we spoke about last week just gone up to the main roster called Heavy Machinery. Now the War Raiders to me look 10 times the tag team that they are.
Heavy Machinery, like they're a nice bit of fun.
Mm.
And it's the kind of tag team that Vince would love for about 4 months before he forgets they're there. This is a really weird comparison because this was a very odd tag team. But do you remember the tag team of Fester and Jesse that were around for a while?
No, I'm gonna have to say no, mate. Festus and
Do you
Jesse.
not remember? It was. You
On
wouldn't
me-
get away with it
on-
now.
Yeah.
It was
How
on
long
SmackDown
ago?
in late 2000s, and Festus, who is what's his name from the club now, the Luke Gallows.
All right, yeah.
He played the part, and
Yeah.
this is you're going to see why we wouldn't get away with it now when I talk about it. He played the part of a mentally disabled.
Yeah, I've just. I'll admit it. I've just Google imaged him, and yes, I do remember him.
Who was brought to the ring by a little cruiserweight type wrestler by the name of Jesse.
Yeah.
And as soon as the bell rang, he turned into a really aggressive fighter. And he actually got quite a bit of a push because he got a match against The Undertaker on SmackDown, which was actually quite good.
Yeah.
It was one of those. It was you watch it, you go, all right, Vince is going to like this for 5 minutes before he gets bored of it, drops it like everything else. And then, funnily enough, they would drop like everything else. But it's got a bit of that style of comedy to it, from what I've seen on NXT.
Yeah.
I know maybe I'm barking up a wrong tree.
No, they've brought that kind of thing to SmackDown this week. Like it's just a weird gimmick, but I don't think they're a patch on the War Raiders from what I've seen. Though these lads look like a proper tag team.
I'm not a massive fan of Heavy Machinery. Again, they're a bit of fun. I'd like to see them do well, but they're not brilliant in the ring. They don't seem brilliant on them. I'm not entirely sure what, apart from being big lads, Vince has seen in them, really.
No, I'd have to agree with that.
However, we're not here to talk about Heavy Machinery.
No.
What did you think about the Undisputed Era?
Decent. I mean, it's hard, I suppose, because obviously they've dropped their titles in. I'm sure in pay-per-views and shows gone past, they've been a lot more impressive. And obviously, I've not seen Adam Cole, is it? The other one? I've not seen him, but I don't know, because I just, maybe it's because of the entrance and everything, like I mentioned before. I just thought the War Raiders looked like the real deal. I really did. I could see them.
They don't normally do that entrance. It's not like an Undertaker thing where it's every.
Well, unless it's going to become that way. Because I thought it was cracking. I mean, at the minute, then I did think when they gave them that entrance, you suddenly think, hello, why are they giving them such a big entrance? You kind of wonder if they've given that to win it, to push them on.
They do every now and then. They give one of the wrestlers, or in this case, a team, quite a nice entrance. As I said before, they gave Aleister Black the live band. Playing him in,
of course,
which was really nice. Which is funny because they barely do any entrance for the main roster wrestlers. I miss Rey Mysterio not coming through the floor. He just looks so naff when he comes running out the back these days.
Yeah, I know. It's true. Actually, I forgot about it. He used to fly up out the floor. Yeah?
Oh, he was great.
It's probably just knocking on now. It's probably an insurance thing where he can't do it in case he dislocates the knee.
It's a budget thing, isn't it? They've cut pyros and all of that. The only people that get pyros are people like Kane, who, and even he doesn't get as much as he. And like the Undertaker gets it, but no, they've cut it all.
Yeah. Oh right. No, I didn't realise that, but yeah, it makes sense now you've said it.
I fully believe it's an issue because they've got too big a roster. Because they're making money, I think they're making more money than they've ever made before as a company. Yeah. But it's because they've got such a massive roster, and we're going to talk about this a little bit when we talk about the Rumble, I guess. But because they've got such a massive roster, and because apparently NXT doesn't make money. Again, that might be a figure that doesn't include shirt sales and stuff, because they must sell loads of shirts for a lot of these guys. But
they must do.
They're saying that NXT does lose money on it, so sort of to fund NXT and to fund the roster of the guys that they're buying up, so they can't go to AEW and New Japan and these indies that are having. Yeah, so I reckon that's part of it. That's possibly. Why. Yeah. Entrance videos. The other thing that's got.
So what do you think will happen with the Undisputed Era now?
I really have no idea. You sort of feel that if they were going to go up, they would have gone up at the Rumble. But they've now I think we're going to be waiting until after WrestleMania for that batch of incomers. It's a hard one because you fear for them because again, and you said later on that you think some of these guys are some of the best wrestlers in the company, and you talked about you don't think people should move up their places in NXT.
Yeah,
They've
very much
had
so.
some wrestlers that were huge in NXT that have just flopped. Neville was one, and in case Neville found his niche in the cruiserweight division. He was brilliant as King Neville.
Yeah.
Finn Balor was another one, and again he was given the Universal title, and then I think he's been deemed unreliable and he's slowly working his way up. But he was part of a golden. It was a golden year.
Okay.
Bailey was massive, honestly.
Really?
Bailey was an unstoppable. Go back. I presume we're talking about this. You've got the network.
Yes.
So go back and watch some stuff from when Bailey was champ. Honestly, the pop of when she comes out is massive.
Was she the same kind of character?
Pardon? Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah.
But what they didn't do is they ruined her with these in your life segments and taking the mick out of her for being I love. She was proper. She came out and she was, well, I'm here, I defend the business, blah, blah, blah. And, I am me.
Yeah.
Flaws and all that. And the crowd loved her. Honestly, it was crazy. And to see that they've destroyed Bailey, because Bailey's pot was bigger than any of the male wrestlers. To see they've destroyed that is a real shame.
Yeah, because she's a good wrestler, but she's never done anything massive in the last. Well, she was champion for a bit on WWE, but she's not done anything for a while. They
completely messed that up. They should have given that to her at WrestleMania and made it a massive moment, but they didn't. They give it to her like Fastlane or something, or Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
One of the rubbishy pay-per-views leading up to it just completely ruined it, because if she'd had that big win at WrestleMania, the Eddie Guerrero victory, overcoming the evil Queen Charlotte, that could have been the springboard to her then taking up. They haven't. They, in the same way that they nearly messed up Oscar.
Yeah.
When she first came up, it's frustrating because you see these guys that are brilliant and then they sort of ruin them. Run them around.
Yeah.
Anyway, Undisputed Era. I felt this match was very much strength versus brains. The Undisputed Era trying to outwit the War Raiders using the dirty tricks in the book. It was straight from the off. They were messing around and distracting the referee and X, Y, and Z, all this stuff. I also noticed that they repeated the double slam spot.
Yeah. Sure.
In the end, the War Raiders won. I'm not massively surprised.
I think they'll probably keep the belts for quite a while now, given how they've celebrated at the end, and now they can get the crowd on side quite well. You could see them holding onto them belts now for quite a while.
Yeah, if the Undisputed Era are moving up, I don't really see anyone that can properly challenge them unless they bring British Strong Style up. That's the only way, because again, British Strong Style are my favourite tag team going. British lads, they're really fun as well. But I don't see none of the tag team. Who have you got now? You've got TM or The Mighty, who are named after. Did you ever play the old Pokemon games?
No, I'm not a Pokemon. I actually listened to one of your podcasts about Pokemon. It did get me slightly intrigued by it, but I just thought I haven't got time to get addicted to another game.
So in Pokemon, you can teach your Pokemon moves, and some of them are called TMs. The regular ones are called TM, and they were TM41 after a Pokemon move.
Right.
And as they've turned them heel, they've changed TM41 into The Mighty.
Okay.
Which I think is a real shame, because I think TM41 is a quite an original sounding name, whereas I think The Mighty just sounds like some generic creator stable from SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah, I agree.
And they've, of course, after they were they had a few injuries that stopped their pushers' faces, but as heels they stalled and become jobbers, and they've got a few other. They've got Budget Crime Time in two lads doing very similar stick. They haven't really got anyone else coming up. That's why I'm so surprised to see Heavy Machinery go up, because I felt like they were going to be one of the ones to come up and become one of the main stars on NXT, or try to be.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Nice one. Shall we move on?
Yeah. So next was Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. I quite like this match. It wasn't fantastic. It was decent. It held up. I think the probably best thing I can say about it is it held up on the pay-per-view with everything else. It didn't look out of place.
No, not at all.
Its main job was to do a job to showcase Matt Riddle.
Which they did quite well.
I really liked the spot where Ono bit Matt Riddle's toes, which is completely gross. But you sort of see him go, why not?
There's
I think there's quite a bit of foot offense, as you would if you were wrestling, fighting barefoot, and you had wrestling, but he stamped on him. What did you think of Riddle then?
I liked him. I liked his entrance. I like the dude bit that they do, you know. I think it's quite a decent gimmick not to have shoes on and boots, you know. He came across really well. He looks a decent wrestler. He's obviously got stuff in his locker from his MMA or UFC background. So I think he's got real potential. And even, Ono's good. Like, he's obviously experienced, but he reminded me of like a Mick Foley type character.
Ono was he used to be in shape. Yeah. I think he's fairly happy. I don't think he's ever going to make it to the main roster.
No, I can't see that either.
I think he's fairly happy where he is putting guys over. He used to be one of the real big names on the independent circuit.
Okay.
Yeah, but he knows what he's there for. Again, you can see what I mean when I say he's the NXT Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, like the gatekeeper, he said, yeah.
Yeah, there to put a guy over, give him a good match and send him on his way and welcome the next new entrant.
I wonder where Riddle will go, and I wonder who Riddle will turn up with now. Given that your main title, those top 6 are kind of untouchable, aren't they? Looking from the outside, you couldn't see him getting into that top 6.
Yeah, but then you've always got members of that top 6 moving up.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
And
I suppose he's the next man. If a gap becomes available, I suppose he's the next man to step up into.
This is the great thing about NXT is that all it takes is that one brilliant performance. Like I talked about Velveteen Dream. When he first came out, when he first started his feud with Aleister Black, I heard people moaning, "Oh, we've got Aleister Black, this brilliant wrestler, and they've put him with Velveteen Dream. This is rubbish." Rah, rah, rah. And then by the end of that feud, Velveteen was a bona fide star. So
yeah, he looks class. I really like him. I've never seen him actually wrestle, but I saw some preview stuff of him, and yeah, I'm looking for. In fact, there's a 6-man tag thing this weekend, isn't there? Where he's in. I'm quite looking forward to that, to watch that.
Well, I've heard that he was sporting a neck brace at Royal Rumble, so we'll see what happens there.
Was he? I don't know.
Apparently, because they recorded this When Worlds Collide tournament before Royal Rumble. Apparently, he's picked up something there, so we'll see what happens with that.
Right. No, I didn't notice that, but yeah, okay, maybe not then. But yeah, he's got the look anyway. But sometimes you see somebody and think, yeah, he could be around for a while.
Yeah, he's good, and he's WWE will push him because he's WWE made. He's not Velveteen wasn't an indie gimmick or anything like that. He is pure WWE made.
Yeah, which helps massively.
Yeah, well, Vince loves his own creations and hates everyone else's. So.
True, very true.
Any more to add on that before we move on?
No, I think that's it. It's good. Like I said, Riddle was impressive. It'd be interesting to see where it goes next. Yeah, move on.
So next we had the North American title, and I would say it's a toss-up for me. I'd say this is possibly my match of the night. Now it was a massive, it was quite a spot fest.
Yes.
I think I've got down here flippy shit, great match, flippy shit, but great match.
Yeah.
They're still using some form of ring psychology of being beaten and stuff, but yeah, it's sort of what people moan about indie wrestling for being, and what people have definitely moaned about Ricochet himself. Ricochet and Will Ospreay are the two that get the most heat from people for it.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It broke up the card a little bit, and it's nice to see Johnny Gargano showcasing some of what he can do. That he can do that aggressive cruiserweight paced wrestling, and I think matches like this should be part of a cruiserweight division. You see these guys. You used to see Rey Mysterio and others in WCW doing matches a lot like this.
Yes.
So why we can't let some of these smaller guys who can do this do it in 205 Live and showcase some main rosters? I don't know. And of course we'll talk about it when we get to the cruiserweight title match a little bit. But no, I enjoyed it. What did you think?
No, I enjoyed it. Like I said before, last week I said obviously that Johnny Gargano was a name that I'd heard, not seeing much about him. So you didn't know what to expect. I was really impressed. I enjoyed it. I thought I quite liked Ricochet, to be honest. I thought he looked decent himself. I didn't realise Gargano was as small as he is. which threw me a little bit because I kind of think I've put on here that I don't think there is a place for him to step up main roster. I think if they're going to push NXT, I think characters like him are so big, you keep down there and you make them like the face of NXT and you push them because he obviously is good at what he does, but stepping up, I'm not sure there's a real place for him in the main roster. But no, I liked him. Like I said, he's got a great skill set. He knows where the cameras are, so he's great. He knows exactly where to turn, how to do the cheeky look, the look at one point where he's struggling whether or not should put him through the concrete. He's good. He's really good. But like I said, I think that might be the best place for him.
I've been thinking about this because we mentioned it and you asked me last week about where he would fit on the main roster.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it, and you've only seen this sort of this tweening, going to heel side of him.
Yes.
I believe that he could be, and he's not going to be not WWE's answer to, but because WWE see this wrestler in a different way to how me and you see this wrestler. I think he could be the replacement for Rey Mysterio on the main roster. And I hate this. Okay. I hate this with football when they say, "Oh, this bloke, he's the new Didier Drogba." I just let him be his own. But in wrestling, you do have these molds.
No, that's a good shout.
And Ray is a babyface, was always that babyface that was there. The crowd loved him. And to WWE, of course, he was just a key to the Latino market.
Yes.
So this isn't from WWE's view, it's from ours. Him as a babyface, he's such a good actor. He genuinely seems to believe what he says, and he has this magical ability to get the crowd behind him no matter what he does. So I think that could be him going up to main roster and being that perennial baby.
Yeah.
Guys who fights a good fight and is that underdog. I think that could be his role on the main roster.
It could. I mean, for him personally, I don't know. Would you want to go up and do that role that you'd never see him winning like the main title? So he'd be knocking around intercontinental level. Would he rather be the main man in NXT? No.
But when I'm in charge of WWE, when I install my world heavyweight title, my women's heavyweight, and my world cruiserweight title, and they're all the same prestige, he will have that world cruiserweight title.
Sure, very true. All right, man. But no, I was impressed. Like I said, I also quite like Ricochet, to be honest.
I think Ricochet's good. He's one that needs quite a bit of seasoning. He needs. There's always a bad thing. He needs to learn the WWE style somewhat.
Yeah.
And get more used to that. I think he also needs to work on a bit on his promos.
Okay.
He's got a bit of the Bobby Lashley's where he's a bit soft spoken. But no, in ring he's great, and he's really, as anyone that pays any sort of interest to indie wrestling sort of would know that he's been great. Yeah, brilliant.
Cool.
So.
And that's another prediction you got right as well.
Yes, 2-1 for me so far. Moving on to the women's title match. It's Bianca Belair challenging Shayna Baszler. My first note I've got here is I hate the hair spot.
Yeah, me too, to be honest, mate. I didn't get it.
It's naff. And I heard, because I've heard some people that when they do podcasts, they don't listen to any other sort of media because they don't want their opinions to be. I quite like listening to other sort of media. I've said to you before that I like bouncing opinions off people, and someone might say something, and often I'll go, no, I'll disagree with that. I think this, and it might sort of mind. And I heard these guys chatting on one of my podcasts, and they're saying, "Oh, the hair spot, it looked really good. It looked like it really hurt her." Blah blah blah.
No.
I was like, no, it's hair. No matter how much you braided it, it is just hair. I
agree. It was just, I don't know, it's weird. They've obviously gave her that gimmick, and they're obviously going to run with it forever until I'm guessing at some point in the future they'll have a match where it gets cut off. But until that point, I'm guessing that's going to be her thing.
What did you think? What are your thoughts on? I'll talk about my thoughts in the end in a minute. But what did you think about the match overall? About Belair and Baszler?
I thought it was okay. Obviously, I didn't know much about either superstar. I think it was building up a good backstory for Belair. She's obviously the up and coming wrestler. She's good. She's big. She's strong. She's got a real good future in front of her. Whereas Baszler, I think at her age now, she won. She retained. What do they do with her though? It's kind of, they didn't move her up to the Rumble, so I can't imagine she's going to be moving up to the main roster any time until after WrestleMania. Normally, like I said earlier, the next influx of new people into the main roster is the Monday after WrestleMania, maybe then. But yeah, it was good. It was all right. The match was all right, and it was nice to see two new characters. But I think out of both of them, you could see Belair having a promising future.
Wasn't AJ Styles a similar age to Baszler when he debuted for WWE?
Really? What did I say she was last week? 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, could have been. I'm not sure actually. I don't know how it is now.
I know it's one of those things where women tend to have a much shorter shelf life in wrestling in WWE than men.
Yes.
Normally they're done, by the time they've hit 30. But again, her with her physicality, and she's not there to be pretty.
No, not at all. No.
So there's no, and this is, let's be honest, like everyone knows why WWE have historically moved on these women by the time they're 30. It's because Vince doesn't believe, or Vince and two others around him doesn't believe that they can be sexy after 30, because that has always been their job since the mid 90s or whenever they got rid of women's division. So someone that isn't at all meant to be, you're never going to see her doing a Brian Pansy's match or one of those bikini contests they used to pull for the divas.
Yeah.
For someone like that, maybe she's got a little bit longer. Maybe she can have the longevity that AJ Styles have. That's just that 5, maybe 7 year run on the main roster to do something. It was similar again. Batista was already 40 when he moves up to.
Okay, right. I didn't know that either.
Run, do a thing, make some money, make WWE some money, and then move on. Maybe that's.
Yeah, that could be what they're thinking. You could be right. And I mean, there's two more pay-per-views for WrestleMania. So that's probably 2 more takeovers, isn't it? So you'd think in one she'll probably defend the title, the next one, and maybe then throw it the one either before or on the WrestleMania weekend. Probably 2 Belair.
Is there 2 more? Isn't there only one? The next takeover should be WrestleMania.
Do they not do them every main pay-per-view?
No.
No, right. So obviously I'm not a big NXT follower, so I didn't know. Well, there you go. So yeah, the WrestleMania weekend, then that'll be the one where you'd think if she's going to make a step up, that's where she'll drop it, and then turn up on Raw or SmackDown Monday or Tuesday.
But they teased the 4 horsewomen on or a Raw Rumble, and apparently after Raw as well. The issue I've got with that is while Shayna Baszler is more than ready to come up, the two other women there, they're not. They've only just come into NXT, so they need that time to season. What I think they're going to do is they're going to let them season with Shayna.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I would say bring them up after WrestleMania, and then bring together that hot 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen storyline. Yeah. And you can get a nice little run of that on Raw a few months, and you've got a series of great matches that you can pull off there with those 8 women. Who are you? I don't know who the NXT. It's Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and I don't think Bayley was a part of it. I'm struggling to remember who the last 4 horsewomen might have been. Paige. Okay. So presumably then, if it was Paige, then it would be Bayley stepping up and taking that last spot.
Yeah, with Sasha.
But yeah,
that'd be a good storyline, I suppose.
Yeah, this is again how you can lengthen these things out and keep it interesting without.
I think long term, the NXT, because obviously you look at NXT from me as a newbie with fresh eyes, and you think, I watched the pre-show to WrestleMania. You've got HBK, Harbaugh, you've got Shawn basically really push it. You can see he's got the hat on, he's pushing it. Triple H obviously working behind the scenes with it, and you just think there's a real chance if it keeps growing as it is, and they keep these characters where they are at the minute, that you could have a really good storyline, very much similar to the WCW, WWE, taking over the main roster. I think that'd be a great angle. You could have people coming in and taking titles, women's titles, tag team titles, main titles. I think that'd be a great storyline to bring it all together. That'd be a good, cool thing to do. Really cool thing to do.
It wouldn't happen while Vince is in charge up top. Because he wouldn't want it to happen, because he wouldn't want his stars to be harmed by these guys. They could do what they should have done with the Nexus. Right. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Do you not remember Wade Barrett and all coming out? It was a John Cena versus CM Punk match on the Raw main event, and it was just after the first series of NXT. So I watched NXT right at the start when it wasn't this weekly wrestling program, when it was more like they used to do challenges, and they'd start with like 8 wrestlers, and each wrestler had a pro. And the first series, they set Daniel Bryan up with The Miz. So they set this brilliant indie wrestler with a proper WWE man who the indie wrestlers hate, which I thought was brilliant from them. This is and and they did that, and then at the end, Wade Barrett won, and then every wrestler from that series came out on that Monday night, beat up Daniel Bryan, beat up CM Punk, and
I do remember.
No one knew what was going on.
They had like a yellow N or something on the top, didn't they? Yeah.
And they were sent out there they were just told to go out there and wreck the place.
Yeah.
And then they pieced it out because Super John Cena had to win and overcome and blah blah blah, and they ruined it. But I see what you mean, and I see it being like that. But
it'd be cool though, that wouldn't it? That'd be good though.
On a bigger scale.
That'd be great. That'd be a really good storyline.
Like, can you imagine if it's not just 8 guys coming out, it's like 20 or 30 men and women just coming out and just taking over the show. Can you imagine if that's the first thing you see?
Yeah.
Is then coming out and it's Ciampa and Gargano leading it, and they're on a mic and they're saying, right, this is now our show, we're taking over, and then the Raw locker room comes out and they get beaten up by the guys and go, right, no, we own it.
Yeah.
Now tonight, you guys are going to come wrestle us one at a time, and we'll start fighting, and they do that, and that is one big Raw, and then it carries on like that, almost like pretty much like the NWO in WCW.
Yeah.
Where
exactly.
They're literally taking over the show.
That's it. Yeah, like that. Or just like run in. So if you've got a tag team title match on SmackDown, like you said, Gargano and Ciampa run in, just beat them up, but walk off with their belts. Just take them. Just walk out with them. Next time's an Intercontinental title belt, Velveteen Dream runs out, smashes them up, takes the title. Just take them, just walk off with them, Just something like that, just to maybe spice it up and just throw something new into the mix. I think it'd be quite good.
Anyway. Cool.
Sorry, we've gone off piece.
Baszler and Belair, we think they're quite good, yeah?
Yeah. It was all right, yeah.
I would say that Belair impressed me in this match. Thought she would. I found the ending quite interesting, simply because Belair has been a bona fide heel her whole run. Even in the match that that allowed her to qualify for as a heel.
Oh, right, okay.
So then for her to paint her as this sort of never give up baby face, and that was the ending was that.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it? She went up to the top rope, try a move because she couldn't get the pin, and then Shayna Baszler managed to get out of that and get her in.
Yeah, that's it. And then you see her just sat in the corner at the end of the match, and basically as Baszler's walking away, and you just think, yeah, she could be pushed as a face now after all that. Although I was really disappointed that Baszler didn't get the mic and just go defeated. That'd have been class.
Right, so that's another one that I got right.
Yeah, cool.
Talking up my wins there, go on. Because I've conceded a few at the main pay-per-view, so I may as well take up what I can on NXT.
Yeah, against yourself, obviously, because I didn't predict.
Yeah. I'm adding these to my Royal Rumble ones though. So
cool. Okay. Cool.
So the main event of the night, the NXT title, Aleister Black versus Ciampa.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Thoughts from a fresh pair of eyes?
Really enjoyed it. Both of them, good, solid pros. I really liked Aleister Black. Liked his entrance. Liked his character. I think out of everybody on the show, he's the one person you could move straight up now without a problem. No worries at all. Just step him straight up. I think I'd be surprised if they don't within the next 2 months. I really do think he's that good that he could step straight into it. And I think there's enough superstars in NXT to keep the main title busy that he doesn't really need to be there anymore. He could probably step up now and crack on.
He does feel very much like he's the one that could go up and do well on the main roster, but also that NXT wouldn't particularly miss him, and not in a bad way, but in a way that they've already got enough of these guys on top.
Yeah.
For him to go up and do something big, which he hasn't been there for long. He's been there a lot shorter time than Ciampa and Gargano have.
How long?
Since he signed the first about the time of the first UK tournament.
Oh, okay.
And then they had him in sort of developmental, just sort of getting to grips with it because they've got to teach him about where the cameras are and do all that jazz and get everything sorted.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been, when he signed, Ciampa and Gargano were already wrestling on NXT. So
okay.
It feels like long, and he's had the very short title run. But again, he doesn't need it.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Because of who's got it now, the storyline they look like they're going to tell. I'm not sure there's any point in him hanging around for 6 months. you know, because they're not going to give him it back, I would have thought. So why not just send him up?
If he stays, he'll just carry on being the opponent for Ciampa, while Ciampa is flirting with Gargano.
Yeah, you could see that.
But also, while I talk about Ciampa flirting with Gargano, there's a quite interesting note. Now, I really like the comic book movies that Marvel have been bringing out. If I'm going to go to watch a film at the cinema, I'm going to go watch a Marvel film.
Okay.
I've got a nice whole collection at the top, but I've never really been a comic book guy. Mainly because I like to start things from the start and go right through to the end. Comic books, it's a little bit difficult. You've got to sort of pick, and I simply own one comic book at the moment, which is like the Planet Hulk thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was watching a video on YouTube which was talking about the attires over this weekend of different wrestlers, and they talked about the attires from Gargano and Ciampa.
Right.
And there's a storyline where there's a X-woman called Phoenix starts to embrace the dark side and becomes more powerful. While she's embracing the dark side and becomes more powerful, she starts a romantic relationship with Wolverine. They've had an on and off relationship anyway, but they have this relationship while she's embracing the dark side. And they came out, and Gargano had the X-Men style font on his trunks. He also had the colours of this Dark Phoenix, while Ciampa had the colours of Wolverine on his trunks, which is interesting because like Phoenix, Ciampa is starting to embrace the dark side and finally winning a singles title because of it.
Yeah.
And Gargano's the one flirting with him, who they were together when he was good, and now he's flirting with him again. Now he's turned to the dark side, and it's just one of those little things that I really appreciate.
No, mate, you know what? I didn't know any of that, and that's some in-depth storytelling, which is great. If that's all been done on purpose, and that's the case, and it's all that, that's great. That's really good. Well impressed.
A lot of these new sort of wrestlers coming up tend to be in other ways as well. Proper comic book isn't quite my thing. Again, as I said, I dabble in the films, but past that, I'm on a complete. So, but I really appreciate that. Yeah, I really liked it. So then they went on to do, after the camera stopped, and they talked about this on Royal Rumble as well. They went on to do a 6-man rule after a show, where Black came up, Ricochet came out, Velveteen Dream came out, and someone else, Adam Cole, came out.
Yeah.
And they did this sort of 6-man rule that spilled out into the back area, and Triple H had to come out and be Big Daddy H and break it all up and tell the naughty children off.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I wrote at the time, 6-man rule, Elimination Chamber coming up. Could they be giving us an NXT Elimination Chamber? Chris, what did they tell us on Raw they were actually planting the seeds for?
It's a 6-man tag, 3v3, which is going to be shown at the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Not quite an NXT Elimination Chamber.
No, it's going to be a little 10-minute match that they can promote the NXT, basically. So no, unfortunately, no, it's nothing as grand as an NXT Elimination Chamber.
I felt so disappointed.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of big NXT fans will have felt the same way as well.
I know.
See, there's no reason they couldn't do that. There's no reason at ever they couldn't do that.
They've done War Games, which has been good. Both of them have been good. The first one was amazing, I felt. They've both been good, though. So it would be nice to see them maybe pull out some more. And it's hard because you're only doing 4 pay-per-views a year, and you don't want all of those pay-per-views to be gimmick pay-per-views, even though they try to do it the main roster. But it would be nice to sort of do one, maybe either one before WrestleMania. Even if you're not going to put them in the Elimination Chamber, go put them in. And we never know. This could all lead to an Elimination Chamber match. They might still go that way.
Yeah.
An Elimination Chamber. Maybe go, what, cool, we'll have our own Elimination Chamber and Takeover before WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Gives it the back of it, but, probably won't because I'm a dreamer.
But no, overall, it was good. Enjoyed it. And then obviously the ending, the last shots really of the pay-per-view, obviously teasing Gargano and Ciampa. which is what you predicted.
Mate, well, they've been very, very heavily hinting at it on the main paper. I half expected Candice LeRae to come out there and then, and again tell him off. But of course, she couldn't come out because then they wouldn't be able to have a 6-man rule to advertise that. Very important. Throughout the match, I felt what I quite liked was that Ciampa definitely worked Black's leg.
Yes.
Pointedly because Black's finisher is the Black Mass, which is a kick.
Mm.
Something you don't tend to see on the main roster anymore.
No, that's true. Apart from people like Joe. Samoa Joe would do something like that.
Yeah.
He would target somebody.
Joe's proper old school wrestler.
True.
You don't get guys like Seth Rollins working on a body part when really Seth Rollins, the architect, should be the perfect person to work on a body part.
Yeah, true.
But it's also, if you watch that video, Ciampa is so good being a bellend. He's so good, and the way he did Black's thing of supporting Black's head on his foot.
Yeah.
And he did the sit down. He did the sit down, and then Black, of course, sat down because that's Black's thing, and then he kicks him. This is a guy who refused to have entrance music start. He just walked out to nothing. He also designed his own shirts and then refused to let WWE sell them.
Really?
So there was a good 4 styles of shirt, really nice looking shirts that he came out wearing and refused to let the crowd, and he let them know that as well.
Wow.
So,
that's good. That is good.
This whole thing from him seems to be his work, his ideas, and of course other people can have inputs, but he seems to be the main creative driving force behind it. That's
why he'll never get to the main card under Vince then.
Well, this is when you see this, you think, well, why don't they let these guys on the main roster have their chance? Go let them have their ideas and go do their promos and this and that, and you're not let them sink and swim. It's not your fault. Vince then can't get blamed. Creative can't get blamed for the latest bland promo from Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns coming out and saying suffering succotash.
He's never going to let them do that, though, is he?
No, because they try and control what is a fairly unpredictable environment as much as they can. And from a business point of view, that makes perfect sense. But it would be nice to see it. But again, maybe some more of the guys on the main roster just need to have a bit more of a bit bigger balls and push themselves a bit.
True. Well, it's another tick in the win column for you, man.
Yes. That's 4. 1, 2,
Mike 4,
3, 4,
nobody
4, 1 to me.
0.
Yes.
Nice one.
Right. So before we break to start the Royal Rumble stuff, is there anything else you would like to say about NXT?
No, not that I didn't say at the beginning. Just that I think I am an NXT convert now. I think I'm going to have to keep my eye on the network and follow it. Well, it's just another program I now have to watch, unfortunately. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
I will put my eyes back onto the NXT UK stuff, and I will over my time off, and I will let you know whether that's worth you dipping a toe as well. I'll probably give I think it's Takeover Liverpool a watch,
cool.
Maybe Friday or something, and I will let you know if it's worth it, and I might talk about it on here next time I do a wrestling podcast, which is with the I sat down and sorted out our my schedule coming up to WrestleMania, and there is a lot of pay-per-views.
There is. I think there's one in like about 3 weeks or something. Less than, I think.
I know people. I know they seem to have pushed WrestleMania back ever so slightly. But,
yeah.
To fit 2 more pay-per-views in before now and WrestleMania seems crazy.
Yeah, it does, especially when they do all the sign pointing for WrestleMania. But then it kind of devalues the pay-per-views, because then you think, well, if you're making a title match now for WrestleMania, nobody's going to drop the title between now and then to change that card.
No.
So it's a bit weird.
Can you imagine how annoyed you'd be if you're Seth Rollins and you're going, I want Brock Lesnar, I've got unfinished business with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And then by the time it comes around, it's Braun Strowman you're fighting. You're like, I don't want to fight Braun Strowman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the match I wanted.
No, it's very strange. Very strange, but that is WWE.
Right, cool. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back for Royal Rumble.
You're listening to Life Junkies podcast.
And so we are back to talk about the Royal Rumble. Now, the first thing that struck me about of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view was the set. I don't know how you felt, Chris, but for me, it was just this weird. Where do you know where they were?
Yeah, I think it was a baseball stadium.
Because I was thinking that looked like a baseball dugout to me.
Where they were coming out from.
And they've got the sort of boards, are sort of like maybe half of a bloke's height.
Yeah, 2 LED boards either side. No big like Titantron thing behind them. It was just they should always be elevated. I always think they should be elevated. Run-ins and stuff should always come from an elevated position, not from ground level. It just don't work. And not having the big screen behind them, and I don't know. It just looked it looked cheap.
It was the thing. I've got no issue with it being low budget. I think there's quite a nice low budget. NXT does very well with a very low budget set. However, there's no wow to it at all. It was really underwhelming. I feel part of it sort of set the tone for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, it had the big screens above the ring. I think if you were maybe in the stadium, it looked better because you got the impact of the names coming straight up and everything above the ring. But obviously on TV, you didn't see that, or very rarely saw it, so it didn't really work to me. And obviously having the bend in the walk, and I don't know, it just seemed a bit strange. Yeah,
I don't know. The whole thing seems naff. You think of a beautiful sets they've done before. To do something like that, just I don't know, it doesn't help. It should be building up that sense of expectation, a bit of, but no, it's comes across as I feel a bit lazy, which is sort of how you describe a lot of the main roster card.
I mean, because of the arena, the stadium they were in, they wanted to sell as many seats as possible, so they didn't want to block off a large section of seating, which they would have had to have done to put up a big screen and all that. So they've obviously took ticket sales and on the night rather than what it looks like on telly.
So talk about being sat in there. What do you do if you're one of those blokes that are sat on the entrance way before the turn? So you're there on the opposite side. So all you've got in front of you, you get to see the wrestlers walk past you, and then you get to stare at the guys opposite you.
Yeah, you just watch it on a big screen, don't you? That's it. You get close to the wrestlers when they come out, which fair enough, you've got that, but then you're not watching the actual ring. You're just watching it on a big screen. You might as well be at home.
You paid for that.
Quite a lot, I'm guessing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But I presume, every event sells out like that, doesn't it? So I suppose they don't really care. That's the trouble.
Right. Anyway, so our first match of the pre-show. You went for Razor and Dawson in this match, and I definitely went for Gable and Rude when we talked about it in the preview.
Yeah, of course. It was so clearly advertised as a match.
Yeah, so we get this hastily cobbled together match with Razor from AOP and Scott Dawson Revival. Was there Scott Dawson's partner? He's not injured or anything.
No, not as far as I know. No,
so there's no particular reason for him tagging with Razor.
It was weird. It was strange. They gave a really strange reason for it. I think it was just, I don't know, it was 2 hours, like an extended preview show, and it was literally like they decided on the day with the thought, you know what, we need to fill it with another match. Who was around? I know. Let's put the tag SmackDown, the Raw tag team lads out there. We'll do something with them. And that's all they did. And it wasn't a great match. It wasn't a long match. They retained the titles. I'm not really that keen on Gable and Rude. I think it's bizarre, this whole how Gable's copying Rude. But then who else is there to take the tag teams off them on that program? You know, you look around. There's nobody coming through really.
There was a tag team. They came up from NXT. They had a really good manager called Paul Ellering, but they got rid of him early on. They had the tag team title belts for a bit. Oh yeah, it was AOP.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Revival. Like the Revival could be holding these belts and going out and doing open challenges on Raw. Going right, this is how we do it. We are wrestlers and we are here to wrestle. Come at us. And for that all that. I like Bobby Roode. I really like Chad Gable, but no, as a tag team, they just don't.
No, it's weird.
Why split Gable and Shelton Benjamin? Or why split Chad Gable and what's his face? Who was the chap that was Kurt Angle's son?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
They were really good together. Why split him with these two guys that suit him? Being amateur wrestlers themselves, he's an amateur wrestler. Why split him with them and then pair him with Rude, who desperately needs to turn heel?
It's because Rude had nowhere to go. They'd brought him up. It was the US champion title holder for quite a while, wasn't it? And then they took that off, dropped it.
Dolph Ziggler, who then just gave it up the next night.
That's it, and it was just
means nothing because it's the US title.
Exactly, but then Bobby Roode's going, well, come on, I've stepped up, I want something to do, and they've gone, right, you can be tag team champions, and they've gone, they've gone, that guy, and they've gone, fair enough, and they've done it, and it's just weird, it's some weird homoerotic relationship, that, I don't know, it just don't come across very well, and now I presume they're waiting for AOP to get back, and then they'll just take the titles back, and then they'll probably dominate for a while. But I don't know. It's very strange.
It sort of feels a bit like we're just waiting for Rude to turn on Gable.
Yeah, but there's been no signs of that. It's weird. There's nothing. They just seem to get on really well. It's a bizarre match. And yeah, it happened, and that was about the best thing. It happened. It ended, and the show moved on.
It's hard to say something about this match. Did they really need this match?
No, I genuinely think they said we're having an extended show. There's going to be people in the stadium who don't just want to see Shawn Michaels and Booker T as tiny dots in the corner of the arena chatting away. So let's put something on. And they've just gone, right, what titles aren't being defended? Those ones, right, stick it on. That's it, done. And that's about as that's the only reason I can think they just wanted another match in that 2-hour period.
They already had two decent matches on that pre-show. I enjoyed both matches on the pre-show, even if I didn't necessarily enjoy the outcomes. So, yeah. So
it happened.
That was that.
That's it. Yeah, it wasn't great. They retained. It moves on.
Anything else to say before we move on?
Not from me.
So, next we come to Chris's favourite match of the night. The US title match with Shinsuke Nakamura challenging Rusev.
Oh, mate, the match that I was absolutely sure. I think I said in no uncertain terms that Rusev would not lose this match. So what happened?
Why? Why do you think? Any logic reason?
No, there's no logic. There's no logic behind it whatsoever that I can see. You watch, you're thinking Rusev's going to win. He's going to retain. He's only just won it. They're going to give him a big push him on, see what's going to happen. You're watching it, and then bam. Well, we'll not go into it, but obviously something happens that comes back later on in the main program. But then you're just thinking, why take it off him? And why give it back to Nakamura? Unless you're then going to give him a push, maybe. You've got Corey Graves on commentary, as he always just picks the person that nobody likes, giving him a bit of a big build-up, giving the whole United States of Nakamura, this is it, he's going to go on and take it on back onto SmackDown and defend it. You're thinking, I don't know, maybe it's in his contract that he's got to hold the title or something. It was just very strange. It's strange for Rusev because I think I said it on last week. I said, when you watched last year's Royal Rumble, Rusev was hot. He had Aiden English, he came out, the crowd was pumped up for Rusev Day. That's kind of gone now, the whole Rusev and Lana, and it's bizarre. I think they've managed to kill Rusev off. And probably kill Nakamura off as well, even though now, at that point, he had the title.
Because this is what I like. If you put in the show notes, I can only presume they're going to run with him as champion for a while now.
Yeah, that's because I wrote that at the time.
Presumably added later, you've put in brackets SmackDown.
Yeah.
So they've given him the title for him to drop it 2 days later.
Yeah, we're going to talk. That's it. Yeah, I didn't want to mention that, but yeah, that's
R-Truth, who didn't make it into the Rumble, and spoilers here, guys. R-Truth, who was taken out by Nia Jax of all people.
Weird, very strange. The SmackDown this week, so you think, right, Nakamura says, R-Truth has been awarded for not making the Rumble to get title. So you think, they're just going to come out, do a dance break, Nakamura will defend, or Rusev might come in and that'll be a new rivalry. And then R-Truth goes and wins after about 2 minutes. And you're thinking, what? And then Rusev comes out as he's celebrating, challenges him for a match. You think, all right, Rusev's going to win it back. No, R-Truth beats him. And then Nakamura and Rusev then kick 10 bells out of R-Truth. And then weirdly announced some kind of tag team going into next week's show. It's just bizarre.
So when our first match we talked about tonight, which was Raw Raiders versus Undisputed Era, and I said, right, I was wrong. I thought Undisputed Era were going to take it, but I totally understand why they've gone with Raw Raiders. It doesn't really. I'm not surprised by the result. It makes sense if they're going on a certain way. There was no sense to this, no logic to it.
No.
Even as a match, even if you're going to use it to eventually turn Rusev heel, which it seems they've done, still doesn't make any sense.
No, none at all. I mean, I can only presume from a a business point of view, that R-Truth and Carmella make a lot of money on t-shirt sales and stuff like that, because they seem to have kept them two together, and they push them on every week on SmackDown. They've now gave him a title. They gave her a title shot in one of the SmackDowns before Royal Rumble. It's bizarre, but that's one thing I can think is that maybe it's a business decision, and those two together are getting a lot of hits, maybe on social media, or like I said, selling t-shirts, and they've gone, right, let's make him the champion, let's give him something, and then take Rusev and Nakamura off and make them a tag team.
Is this dance break nonsense popular on SmackDown? Is it over?
Still doing it. It's not popular. It's not popular with me.
What does it get a reaction from the crowd? Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be over when they did it on the pre-show. It didn't seem to be over there.
But there wasn't that many people in, was there, at that point? I mean, on SmackDown, they'll always cut to kids doing the dancing. That's the thing. I think it's very much like we spoke about Bayley earlier. Whenever Bayley comes out now, they cut to young girls, young kids who'll go mad for her. And I think that's all it is. It's just it's maybe just attracting a younger generation into it.
I don't know. We've moaned enough. I think this was the best match I've seen from Nakamura on the.
Yeah, it did well. It was good. It worked
really well.
It was a good match. It was a good match. Surprising result, but yeah, it was a good match, and that's why I wrote here, because I wrote these notes as I'm watching it. I thought maybe now they're going to push him on. Maybe they've decided that actually, yeah, because he still gets a good pop when it comes out. His music and everything. People seem to still. So maybe they thought, yeah, come on then, all right then, let's give him another go. But obviously not. So I don't know. But yeah, it was it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought it was the best match on the pre-show, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. Let's move on as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So we talked about earlier. Here's another spot fest in the Cruiserweight title match.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
It was. I thought it was great fun. Nice, fast-paced, high-action match. Using every multi-man trope in the book. Straight away, you've got, I think it was Tozawa that gets straight out the ring and lets the other guys fight, and then you've got, was it Kalisto who did the jump through Itami's legs and into Buddy Murphy and Tozawa who are fighting outside or something.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Great.
It was good, especially because I didn't know three of them really. I only really knew Buddy Murphy, so I enjoyed it. It was good. Like you said, they did every move that you would expect, plus more. I think Buddy was right that Murphy retains. Probably going to go to WrestleMania now, as the champion. I don't know where he'll go after that. It's strange. It's obviously, is Alexander out injured?
I don't know.
It's strange that he wouldn't be in that match.
Maybe they're just sort of mixing up competitors again. We've got to remember that Triple H is in charge of 205 Live, so the bookings are his decision. It's not like it's Vince where. The Usos, the Bar, and the New Day have to trade the SmackDown titles.
Yeah.
Until he decides to put on his son.
Yeah. True.
So he's giving different people a chance. It's this fabled idea of people earning a shot at the belt. So it's crazy. I'll never catch up. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I've got here that Hideo Itami really deserves a title.
Yeah. Did you write that before today? Obviously.
Yeah, he's now gone.
He has gone. Yeah, he's asked to leave by all counts, and it's been granted.
Well, it seems like they're all asking at the moment. It's that thing, isn't it? If you're not being used properly, now is the time to get out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Big money behind some of these small indie promotions now.
That's what I was just going to say. Apparently, there's people earning big money for places like AEW and stuff like that. Apparently, now paying big money out. So his head's obviously been turned. He's asked to go, and they've gone, yeah, fine, off you go. We've got plenty of other people coming through, so they've let him go.
If you don't feel like you're being used properly, now's the time to get out of it. Short
career, really, so why not? But do you know what? Will he be missed? Really? Probably not.
He won't be missed because he was never used properly in the first place. So
yeah, true.
I would say some of probably the biggest miss I've seen. The rest of it I've missed that was Neville.
All right.
Even at WrestleMania, when Braun Strowman was teasing his partner, I was like, I genuinely thought it was going to be Neville now. I thought that music was going to hit, and then the crowd just would have gone nuts. And luckily I quite enjoyed. I can't remember him in that Young King of the Tag Team titles. I thought it was quite funny. So, but no, I really hope that Neville was going to come out because his work before, again, this is the second time I've said it now. His work before he quit was brilliant. He was one of the best characters in the entire company.
Where is he now?
he went back to Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
I presume he'll be moving to AEW at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if his contract with Dragon Gate is exclusive, but that's where he made his name.
True.
Yeah. So,
Cool. But yeah, so
Reigns as champion. We are 1-1. Cool.
Let's go.
The
big one.
We get to my most anticipated match of the night. Just the point. This isn't down in the show notes, but what a long way we have come. As a kid, when I was 14, 15, 16, watching Raw and SmackDown in my parents' living room.
Yeah.
I used to fast forward the Divas segments.
Same.
Partly because I wasn't really that interested in watching it. It was normally if they come out for matches and the matches were naff. But also I didn't really want my parents to walk in on me watching a bra and panties match or a bikini contest thing going on.
I agree. I know exactly what you mean.
So now we've got to the point where I am really excited for a women's match where there's these two women coming out that I know are going to be brilliant, that I know are going to put on a great match, and I'm a big fan of. It's a completely different thing.
I agree. I actually think the women's storylines have got going at the minute is far superior to anything they've got going in the men's division.
Oh, I think definitely. Becky Lynch and Asuka are the two. I said they're the two best women on the roster, but I think they are the two best wrestlers.
Yeah, no.
Not best wrestlers as in.
Yeah.
Technically, because again they were parts of it, but as in the best characters. And this is what they keep telling us. Sports entertainment is built about characters. They're not wrestlers. They're entertainers. They're characters.
True. It's good. I mean, what Becky Lynch has done in the last 4 or 5 months is incredible. He said it on SmackDown. Said that basically the last WrestleMania she was pre-show, and she will headline this year's WrestleMania, which is an incredible climb. Really is. I mean,
do you think they'll do it? Do you think she will headline?
Yeah.
Do you think she'll be the last match on the card?
Yeah. I mean, she's spoiler. I'll not say it, but obviously she opens this show, and I'm sure we'll get on to what happens later on. But she opens this one, the Royal Rumble, and I think there's every chance that it will be the main event at WrestleMania. It's the one that I think that everybody's been waiting for a while, and I think there'll be some great build-up stuff now for the next few months as well. Well, there should be anyway. If they do it properly, there should be some really good build-up stuff now for the next 2 months.
So there's a little bit of behind the scenes here. I was watching this and my partner was, I can't remember what she's doing. She went off to do something upstairs on the pre-show. She came down partway through, I think it's the Miz McMahon match.
Okay.
And I'm writing show notes down. And she looks over and she turns around and goes, "When did you pour beer on the sofa?" And because in my show notes I have written, "So excited for this match that I accidentally poured beer over my beer got as I was pouring it in.
Yeah.
To sort of show over the sofa.
Unbelievable.
I nearly got in trouble then.
It's good. Good match.
Yeah, I was quite excited about this move. That move off the apron. That Oscar to Becky Lynch. I don't know what it was supposed to be.
No.
Or it looked like it hurt though.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt both of them. Bizarrely. It was a good match, I think it had a bit of everything, and the result, although strange, they never thought it would be a clean win either way. It was a clean win, and I think that's a great push for Oscar, really. It kind of cements it. It's not making her just a token champion now. That she's gone out there and she's bet the man on her own back, and that's a good thing. I don't know what'll happen to her now, as in who will step up to fight her. 'Cause obviously, what happens later we'll go into. But I think it was good. And maybe not having somebody running was just for her to say, "Look, we know you're the champion," and let everybody see how good she is.
I totally get the idea of giving Oscar the clean win. I think they should have done it at Elimination Chamber against a strong opponent, up and coming.
Yeah.
It's the one time that a clean win doesn't make sense. It's the one time they do it.
Yeah, the whole way through, or when you start after about 10 minutes, you start thinking, right, what was coming out? You're constantly waiting for some kind of crowd reaction, thinking that somebody's going to come out, something's going to happen, somebody's going to hit with a chair, and it didn't. And then she wins, and maybe that's a good thing that everybody expected it, so they didn't do it. So
yeah, maybe. Anyway, I very much enjoyed this match.
Me too. And we both predicted it correctly, which was bizarre.
Well done. Because we've definitely got the next match wrong.
Yeah, massively wrong.
So this is the next match, of course, is SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Miz and Shane McMahon challenging the Bar. Now, when they first came out, I was hoping Miz had Miz-O-Mac on his baseball jersey.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed when I realised it was just Shane. It was the Miz and Mac, Miz and Mac.
Yeah, Miz and Mac.
Shane McMahon having just his name on his jersey because he's not totally into this tag team. But I quite enjoyed this match, and I enjoyed the fact that the Miz and Shane McMahon. I liked it. I feel like I shouldn't, but I did.
I didn't like it. I don't get it. It's literally just the boss's son saying, "Has he ever been tag team champion before? Maybe not. Maybe he's gone, look, I want that belt. I'm going to do it." So they've brought him into it. They've roped the Miz in. Strangely, they had the Miz's dad there, which I thought, and I was all the way through. I said it last week on the pre. I kept thinking there's going to be something's going to happen. There's going to be some beef between these two. There's got to be some other storyline that they're peddling that we don't really know about. But no, they're not. They generally just made them champions. And then you think, well, the Bar have been one of the strongest tag teams around, probably over the last 2 years. You know, they've been up there. They've beaten everybody there has been. They've been champions on numerous occasions, and then they've gone and lost to the boss's son. And you just think, that's not right. It's not right. I don't know where they're going to take the storyline either. I mean, what they're going to do? They're going to just keep on defending it? I mean, it's strange.
They're going to be the feel-good story of the summer. These two underdogs fighting in a company, and they're going to win. They're going to keep these belts and push on.
This is it.
We'll see them defending it next year's Royal Rumble.
Well, this is it. This is the strange thing about it. So then, obviously, I watched SmackDown this week. And I'm thinking, what's going to happen? They'll come out, and then Shane McMahon does a big loving. He gets the Miz's dad to do a big walkout to music. His dad comes in the ring, tells the Miz he loves him and is proud of him. And all the way through, I'm thinking, something's going to happen. But no, that's it. It's just a big group hug. They're very happy together. And then Shane McMahon announces that they're going to do a four-way match. Whoever wins that will face these two at Elimination Chamber. And then 4 tag teams come out. Well, I'm sure you can guess who they were. There's the same 3 that always on SmackDown, and then one other.
Was it the Usos, New Day, the Bar, and Heavy Machinery?
What a guess! Yeah, but yeah, that's it. And it's just, I mean, the Usos, New Day, and the Bar. I must have seen them more times wrestle over the last few months, year, than I've had hot dinners. I think it's a bit stale, really. And then obviously they put Heavy Machinery to give them a push. I think they eliminated maybe New Day, and then they get eliminated, and the Usos won. I mean, now, if Miz and McMahon are beating the Bar, like I said before, being one of the best tag teams, the next name on that list, if not higher than them, will be the Usos. So surely to God, they're not going to now go and beat them as well.
I would never put anything past a McMahon. I do have Shane McMahon's title history. He has won 1 WWF European Championship.
Right.
He has won 1 WWF Hardcore Championship, and then he's won the 1 WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So that's it. And of course the WWE World Cup, making him the best wrestler in the world.
There you go then. See, clean sweep now.
Oh, he still needs a world title like his dad.
True.
That can be arranged. That can be the one that takes down Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he'll be the first man to beat him. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
They did linger on it, on the celebrations a lot, with particularly Miz and his dad, and then he goes over to the other corner where his mum is. Is there some sort of issue with his dad? What's going on? Because I've heard some people saying that the Miz's dad has said he was ashamed of him or something, or
no, I bet he just said. The Miz says, "I've never heard my dad say the words, 'I'm proud of you, son.'" So what happens? Shane McMahon gets his dad out on the mic, middle of the ring. And what does he say? "I'm proud of you, son." There you go. Big hugs, tears. It's just I don't know. I don't get it. It's just a strange storyline. It really is. Maybe it's a personal storyline that something's gone on behind the scenes, and they've gone, "Look, we're going to do this for you." So I don't know. You never know, do you?
They've definitely painted it as sort of an attempt at a feel-good moment, but it is odd.
We both got it wrong anyway.
If you're going to do an odd man tag team, then that's fine. But trying for sort of weird feel-good moment that didn't seem to be there. Like, if his dad wasn't proud of the Miz being the world champion,
yeah,
why is he proud of him being a tag team champion?
Exactly. Doesn't make much sense, does it really?
Right. Anyway, let's move on to the Raw Women's Title match, in which Sasha Banks challenged Ronda Rousey. Coming up to this, they talked a lot about. They kept saying Sasha is the toughest opponent that
Yeah.
Rousey has faced so far.
Yes.
Really?
No.
Like,
Strange.
this is a woman that has faced Charlotte Flair. She's faced Alexa Bliss, who has been, perennial. She's been the two women of the Revolution have been Flair and Bliss, and she's beaten both of them.
Yeah,
The
I'd agree
woman
with that.
from before the Revolution was Nikki Bella. She's beaten her as well. She's
And
also beaten the
Jax.
biggest on the roster in Nia Jax. So how is Sasha, who's been fanning around here, there, and everywhere, losing matches, winning matches? We don't know what she's doing off TV in this weird lesbian relationship with Bayley. How is she her toughest opponent? How does that make any sense?
Doesn't really, but I kind of think that every time she faces a new opponent, they use the words, it's her toughest test to date. It's just some other way of peddling another match until they can get to WrestleMania. It was alright. The match was alright, Sasha's a very good wrestler. Rousey's better than people think she is. But you always knew there was only going to be one winner, really. And they had a bit of... the ending was probably the most interesting part of it.
The ending was very weirdly done. I kept expecting her to go and hit her. In fact, I kept shouting at the TV.
Yeah, do something.
Because she sort of went to leave, looked like she was about to cry. Which I don't need to see Sasha Banks cry anymore.
No.
Because they've done that, and they shouldn't have ever done that, because the boss doesn't cry. If you look at the boss when she was in NXT, she was this, big, sassy, independent woman, and then they bring her and they make her cry regularly on TV. It's almost a meme of Sasha Banks crying on Raw. And then she goes back and holds up the four fingers.
Yeah.
Four horsewomen. And then leaves again.
Is that what it is, for horsewomen, or is it 4-time women's champion?
Is she a 4 times women's champion? I know she's won
they were peddling her as that before, weren't they?
Mm.
I'm sure they were peddling her as 4 times women's champion before, so that's why I presumed she was saying 4 times. As 4 as in, I've won it 4 times, but I might be wrong.
I'm nearly there. Hang on. WWE Raw Women's Champion 4 times. You are correct. She also has 1 NXT Women's Championship to her name.
Oh, that's why. That's why I thought 4. I just thought, that's why she's saying I've held, 4 times I've held it. I think they're gonna win. You see, I don't see that going any further now, that match, mainly because I think her and Bayley will be the first women's tag team champs. So I think that's their storyline.
Because they've messed around with this storyline so much.
True. Because at Elimination Chamber, that's where they're going to crown the first women's tag team champions. I could just see Sasha and Bayley winning them.
I've got to say, I did enjoy Sasha Banks being able to be more of a heel again.
Yeah, she's good. She was good. She's good at that kind of thing. But I think Rousey's got bigger fish to fry now.
How do you think they build it? They've got 2 pay-per-views. Actually, no, we'll leave it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after the next match.
Okay.
But yeah, so she would like to be against Sasha. I think, before I move on, I just want to say Sasha is very much a Bobby Roode, in my opinion. She's been neutered by having to be a face, and she needs that big heel turn.
True. But then you can't do that if you're going to make a tag team champions.
This is the point. You can't turn Bayley heel because she hasn't got enough about her to be heel. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if they use that to use that tournament to turn her heel. Maybe in the final match they lose to probably the Bellas, and then she turns around and beats Bayley up, and then we have them at WrestleMania.
Yeah, possibility. But then again, they did that a year ago. It didn't go down very well. They just they did the whole Bayley v Sasha thing on Raw, and it just didn't. It never grabbed anybody. They just left it and ended up making up mates again. So do you think do you do that again? 12 months later, do you do it again?
Cool. Right, so we'll move on to the Women's Royal Rumble, which we've pretty much given away the ending to already.
Yeah.
What did you think about Lacey Evans coming out first and being given mic time?
I like her. Now, I picked her maybe to make her last 4 position as my picks last week. So when she came out number 1, I was like, shit. But I like her. She came out. She's bigger than I thought. She's got a good presence about her, and she stayed in for a long time. She had a bit of beef with Charlotte in there. She stood up. I think she's got potential. Now, she came out and she was on the mic. She did well, but she got good heat from the crowd. Like she'd make a good heel. Now I'd like him to maybe text somebody like her, and then go and just for the next month, 6 weeks, whatever, on SmackDown or Raw, just turn up and just beat down popular people, but not the main people. Come out, beat down some of the lesser characters in it, and just build up a bit of a reputation as a heel, and then maybe because there's no point in throwing her straight in against Oscar or somebody like that, but let her just plod away, get to know, get in there, get crowds to know, get crowds to hate her, give her some mic time. She seems to be quite good on the mic, and let her beat down on people like Naomi and people who are popular, and then maybe in 6 months you step her up and you go, right, here you go, off you go, have a go at a title shot.
She's one of those. I don't think they should have brought her up when they did. I think again, I said on the preview that I felt she should have been one of one's challenge for the NXT Women's title, and she hasn't even been close to that in NXT. So for her to then be sort of shotted into the main roster just seems a bit odd to me. I felt that sort of giving her that showed faith, but I also think she struggled with a bigger crowd. They didn't. The thing is, this is your Royal Rumble. You send out a woman first that no one knows in that crowd, or very few people know in that crowd. She's not even a big name in NXT. Sure. And then give her the mic, sort of. At least if they'd given her someone else that was more popular out first, and then she could come out and talk them down, that would have worked a bit better. But I would have just had her come out to get a pop in the middle of a match, so that the fans that know go, oh, I know her, and then people don't go, oh, who's that? That sort of not. I don't know. Sure. I felt they put her into a head to nothing there.
Yeah, and then she didn't show up on Raw or SmackDown this week, so it's not like they've gone on and pushed on her any kind of story straight away with her either.
So Lacey Evans came out. The next main point I had was the Iconics.
Yeah.
I'm a big Iconics fan. They're not brilliant in the ring, no. But I think they are pure panto in terms of mic work and character work.
Yeah, they're good, and I mean, I'm glad. I wondered if they were going to try and split them at the Rumble, maybe one throw one out, but they didn't. They got out. They were in there. They were good. They did a good 10, 15 minutes or whatever. They're decent, But again, these are where do you go with somebody like that? What are they going to do with them, other than compete every now and again for a tag team shot, maybe.
Yeah, I would love to see them get a tag team title run together, but mainly they're going to be the heels that come out, mouth off at the faces, and then get beaten up, which is sort of a role they've had. I love that where she comes out and goes, I'm waiting for Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a mate.
Yeah.
And then who was it who came out and took her out next?
Oh, man. You're asking me now. It'll come back to me. Maybe I can't.
Anyway, whoever it was comes out, takes her out, and then she just gets in the ring anyway. And then Peyton Royce was like the next.
Yeah.
But I think those two, and it helps. Peyton Royce is pretty attractive, but they are both very funny. I think on the mic. My first introduction to them was on a Takeover pre-show.
Okay.
And they came out and they were talking about being on fleek and blah blah, and they were running down the hosts, and I was like, these two are brilliant. And you look them in the ring, they're not brilliant in the ring. I totally get that, but they are brilliant on the mic, and that is such a big part. And you can have a brilliant WWE career by doing the mic.
Yeah, of course you can.
You can have a decent WWE career, but just by being big.
That's very true. Yeah.
Any other comments about the Rumble from you?
I mean, not until you get to the end. I mean, they did very well making sure that you had all the big hitters in at the end, didn't you? I mean, the last 7 or 8 wrestlers they're probably the top 7, 8 you'd pick who weren't in other matches that night. You've got Bailey and people like that. They were all in at the end. Jax, I mean, is this where we say what happens? Obviously we all expected it to happen, didn't we? I mean, we spoke about it last week. It was one of the things I was adamant would happen at some point, and how we got to that point we didn't know, but it happened that Lana. That's why I was saying earlier about when Rule 7 Lana have their match. Lana gets injured. The minute you see it cuts to her trying to come out and she's limping, you think, right, well, there you go then. That's what's going to happen. Lynch is going to take her place, come in, win the Rumble, and so she did.
We've basically said it. Dropped a lot of hints towards it.
Yeah.
I did say Ember Moon, and I'll take the hit on this. However, we talked before. I changed to Ember Moon just to be different for a bit on the 2 Rumble matches. It's one of those we all knew it was going to happen, but we still enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I enjoyed it. You were waiting for it to happen, and you did wonder at the end how it was going to come about and everything else. And listen, Becky Lynch opened and closed the show. That's some going that for somebody. And you think about where she's come from in the last 6 months to open and close the Royal Rumble's pretty incredible.
Did she? Because she didn't close the show.
She did, didn't she?
Did she?
I thought she did. Was that not the last match?
Too early.
Was that not the last match?
No.
Oh, I've really messed up there. I thought they did. I thought they put the Women's Royal Rumble on last.
Oh, do you not have anything to say about the next 3 matches
that
come on after this?
Can we just pause the podcast here for an hour and a half? All right then. Plus she opened and closed. No, you're right. You didn't. I've got that wrong. She opened and closed the women's segment of the Rumble.
I wondered why you came on and said the Rumble was really short this year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was really. I'm surprised they didn't do a men's Royal Rumble this year. But yeah.
Having said that, I do think this should have closed.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it did. To be honest, my bag. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's everything for the last 3 months has been leading to Rousey v Lynch at WrestleMania. So they had to do it at some point. So they've finally done it now. If we mention Raw from this week, obviously it's now been announced. Rousey's in there, wins a match. Becky Lynch comes out, says, "I don't need any time. I'm picking you. This is the match. We go to WrestleMania, and it's Lynch v Rousey." And that's, I suppose, what everybody's known is going to happen. It's just been how they're going to get there and how they've done it. I would say this. I would now like Rousey to beat her, though.
Really?
Yeah, I would. Because I just think everybody expects her to win now. Because it's just been the momentum behind is incredible, So it would now be good if we finally get to WrestleMania, that Rousey beats her. I think it'd be great. Just be a bit different to what you'd expect.
No, I still want Becky. I can't change my mind there. I would like to live in a world where Becky Lynch and Asuka are the 2 top women in wrestling.
Where does Flair go now? On a side note,
she turns heel after.
To do what though? Just to job to Asuka for 5 months? Or?
No, it's you can build people up without having the title, which is something that WWE seem to have forgotten how to do. But it can be done very, very well. Wrestlers have made a career out of being big and not having a title. Look at the Undertaker, who in his prime very rarely had the title. As only as he got a bit older and some mystique was lost, then he started getting the title more.
Yeah, frustratingly for an Undertaker fan. Yeah, you're right.
It's also Shawn Michaels spent a lot of time being
without
a massive member of the Raw roster without having a title, without being anywhere near the title. So again, it's not going to be that long. They can put her back to basics somewhat and have her start beating up some of the lesser members, feed people like Naomi to her.
Yeah.
And then sort of build her that way. You can build her up to have a big match.
I mean,
down the line with Asuka all in.
Yeah. I mean, SmackDown, she's come out and had another run in with Lynch, so maybe that's going to be, I don't know, maybe that's going to be Elimination Chamber. What do you do?
I still think they could get a good few matches. If they do the Four Horsemen, probably about a couple of months, they could possibly even get to SummerSlam, which is the next big 4 pay-per-view, with just those 8 women feuding over the Raw Women's title, if not longer, if they do it right.
If they do it right, I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? A big if. But the Rumble was all right. I mean, it went stagnant, I would say, for a large part in the middle. And you were kind of hoping just to get to the end. But when the end came, it was enjoyable.
It was fairly grim up until the end. It's one of those. Was there any really great surprises apart from Hornswoggle?
Yeah, bizarrely. No, there wasn't any big surprises. I'm not sure the women's division has that depth for a 30-woman Royal Rumble, So it ended up being a large part of just people stood about waiting to be thrown over the top rope, basically, which is a bit disappointing. But I mean, it's only is it the only second? Is it second ever?
Second ever.
Yeah, so
it's
things take time.
That's still being assembled.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly.
They've got a lot of talented women coming up. They've got sort of their steady hands in people like Naomi and stuff, but they've also got their the weaker spots on the roster there still. So it's one of those. It's a work in progress, but we're moving towards something that could be
special.
Yeah.
No, I'd agree on that. Yeah, but yeah. So Lynch wins it. Lynch goes to WrestleMania.
So the next match was the WWE title match: AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
Allegedly.
Yeah, do you want to stop here and you go and watch it?
Yeah. Nah, go on.
They showed a lot of Daniel Bryan's promo on
Mm.
SmackDown before the Royal Rumble.
Mm.
He's really good. Like, and
He
okay,
is. I said,
Daniel
yeah.
Bryan is really good, brilliant, and also there's a sun in the sky during the day. I get it, like, it's obvious, but these are really good. Like, even Daniel Bryan, good.
He's a lot better now as a heel than I think than ever was as a face. He's just good at. He's just natural at it, you know. And he's obviously they're building something now. They really are. You can see this eco-friendly, this fickle chant. You know, it's good. He's got something going behind him. It could be good for quite a while if he keeps it on.
So okay, spoilers everyone. This is again AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan won. Again, no surprises there. The surprise was that Eric Rowan came out.
Yeah, bizarre. Like, I had to look twice to make sure it was him. You're thinking, at first I'm thinking, is this some NXT? Oh, no, it's Eric Rowan. You know, bizarre. I mean, he's a big lad. Don't get me wrong, he's a big, powerful guy. And then he doesn't straight away get in the ring. He stands there at the side for a while. And obviously, you know, he must be on side with Bryan. There's no way that he's coming out to be with AJ's titles. And then, boom, he gets in. Referee. The minute the referee gets knocked out, you know what's going to happen. Jumps him. And before you know it, it's 1, 2, 3, and Bryan retains. Now, obviously, you put in our notes, is this a new straight edge society? I have to admit, I don't know what the straight edge society is.
You don't know what the straight edge society was?
No, genuinely.
So this was a stable. It was headed by CM Punk.
Right.
He recruited Luke Gallows.
Okay.
And this is the storyline was that while Luke Gallows was fester, he was an alcoholic. And that's why he was like he was. And Punk had found him, helped cure him of the disease of alcoholism, and now he was a clear-headed, straight-edge man going by Luke Gallows.
You see, I have a bit of a black hole in the CM Punk era, where
you know what, CM Punk as a heel when he first turned heel, and that from sort of that point, I was CM Punk. And I have mates again. My mate that I'm going to be watching Royal Rumble with tomorrow, he was a big John Cena fan, and I was talking to him. I was like, no, CM Punk is brilliant. Like, he's a fairly casual WWE watcher. He comes round to watch the pay-per-views with me.
Yeah.
And I was going, look, the CM Punk is great. Give him a watch, see what he's doing. And he gave him a watch. And he was like, mate, you're right. CM Punk's great. But this Straight Society, they come out, and it was these two, and there's a diva called Serena.
Okay.
Who came out and had a shaved head for a large part of it, and then they recruited Joey Mercury. And so there was big sort of cult-esque stable, and I really enjoyed the work they did. I don't think they ever got what they deserved, but they're really good. Just a point: is Eric Rowan okay? Because he seems to go from cult to cult. He was in the Wyatt family. Then he was sort of let loose and he sort of floundered, whereas sort of Luke Harper and then, of course, Braun Strowman found their feet very easily. Eric Rowan didn't. He sort of floundered being on his own. And then he went back to the Wyatt family, and then they became the Bludgeon Brothers, him and Luke Harper again, him following a culty-esque vibe. And now he's getting down with Daniel Bryan and his eco-friendly cult. Like, does someone need a word with him? Is he okay? Like,
they just don't know what to do with him, do they? They'd have no idea what to do with him. I think he's been hanging around because obviously his partner got injured, and they've gone, I tell you what, boom, there you go. Like, see on SmackDown this week, Daniel Bryan's making him out to be some really well-educated, well-read man, and Eric Rowan never actually says a word. He just stands there looking big. So yeah, maybe he's just been around and they wanted to use him. They've gone, I tell you what, boom, in you go.
Well, this could be maybe Luke Harper's going to join up with him again when he gets out, and we'll.
Yeah. So is this Straight Edge Society going to be a modern day version? Do you remember Right to Censor?
Oh, yeah.
Is it just basically a better version of that? Who was the guy who headed that up? It was because he ended up getting like Val Venus. The Godfather went in there for a while. Who was the female? The woman went in.
Stevie Richards, was it?
It was Stevie Richards, yeah. Stevie Richards headed it up. And
I know was a woman in it, wasn't it?
No, it was a smaller woman. God.
See, this is sort of before my era, really.
Yeah, and this was when I used to love WWF as well. They were the most annoying people, annoying stable, but they were all right. I mean, they were all right. But is that basically
like Jacqueline? Was it?
It might have been Jacqueline. Yeah, it could have been Jacqueline. Oh, it was Ivory.
I think it was Ivory.
Yeah, either they were basically they'd come out and cover the divas up, or stop anybody having any fun, that type of thing.
Yeah, they'd definitely get over in these day and times.
But that's the first time right to censor has been mentioned on a wrestling podcast for 20 years. Should hashtag that.
I might put it in when I put the show up. I will be using social media again by the time the show comes up, so I can actually hashtag it.
2 days, man, innit? 2 days.
2 days. Well, we're just gonna get through tomorrow, and I'm back on it.
Deadline day as well, mate. I was said about earlier. Miss all your Chelsea signings tomorrow.
I've had to Google Chelsea news to work out who we've signed and what's going on.
Cool.
Or Barrick. I nearly had to buy a paper. I nearly had to talk to someone.
But it was alright. It was an absolute classic AJ Styles match that he's had for the last 8 pay-per-views.
Did you not feel like it bombed with the crowd a bit?
Yeah, but I think some of his matches have recently, because I think he's just getting a bit stale.
But I felt this was a really enjoyable, intricate wrestling match. It was these two doing what these two could, and I think if this had been on NXT, the crowd would have lapped it up.
Do you know why I think your view is different to mine is because I have seen this match on SmackDown for the last 6 months. He has fought the same people week in, week, pay-per-view, SmackDown, whatever, and done that. So I just think that maybe he just needs a break, as I think I said last week. But look, Daniel Bryan won. We thought he was going to win. It's good that he's won. He's obviously trying to build something. He's good with it. Just let him run. Let him run with it, and see where he goes.
Brilliant.
Now, I just put the other thing. SmackDown this week then announced the 6 competitors for Elimination Chamber which will face him, and he's not gonna. I mean, he ain't gonna lose to any. He's gonna come out of the. He's gonna be the WrestleMania still holding the SmackDown belt, in my opinion. The people are gonna put up against like Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles again, and bizarrely Mustafa Ali. Who the WWE are really pushing Mustafa Ali. Bizarrely, it's alright. Yeah,
are they really pushing him?
They are, because they're putting him in straight into big matches. He's been in against Bryan, against AJ Styles. He just later on we'll talk about the Rumble. He's now been put into the main event, the men's SmackDown main event for the next pay-per-view. I mean, he's come out of nowhere to do that. That's a bit of a big push, really.
Who are the 6? Who are the other 5 men in the Elimination Chamber?
Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Daniel Bryan.
3 of those. Right. Where's it? Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe.
Randy.
No, not. I'm not interested in Randy anymore. No. He peaked in about 2009. Actually, I think he peaked before that.
He did, but there's going to be at some point where people start to like him again just for the old retro feel of liking Randy Orton.
I feel like we've passed that by now.
I don't know. But that's it. I mean, it's not a great match, to be honest. And he ain't going to drop his title. So it's kind of just I don't know.
It makes no sense because it'll kill all his momentum.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to kill his momentum. And the rest of them, I mean, they've got other beefs at the minute. Ali and Samoa Joe's got a bit of a beef. Randy Orton and Samoa Joe's got a bit of beef. There's stuff going on between all them. I think Jeff Hardy's just been thrown in because he sat around doing nothing.
Jeff Hardy. Can you imagine? That should be Bryan's next feud. Going into WrestleMania should be with him and Jeff Hardy. And the amount of stuff he could go on Hardy with the drugs and alcohol and all that side of things, he could really hit him on it. It'd be brilliant. Again, reminiscent of the CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy feud, which is one of my favourite of all time wrestling feuds.
But yeah, so anyway, what we said is it goes on. Daniel Bryan goes on. That, for me, that's the right thing for them to have done. Yeah, move on.
A last point. What did you think of the eco-friendly title belt?
Oh, and revealed on SmackDown. It's good. Why not? We on about it last week about how all the belts look the same, weren't we? So why not? Why not do something different?
But it looks the same, apart from it's wood.
Wood and hemp, I think you'll find.
Right. So we can smoke it. Cool.
Yeah, basically, yeah. This belt's been made out of a cow called Daisy thing was weird. But why not? It's just something else. That's the other reason he's not going to drop his belt. Just give him his own belt. He's been around for a while now, I think, as champion, and hope he does well with it.
That belt ain't sticking around past Daniel Bryan, is it? It's not going to be another spinner belt.
Nah,
That's going to be
whoever,
there for the next 5 years.
Whoever wins the belt will burn it. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think so.
Right. So the last singles match on the card is the Universal title match between Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Finn did, I think, though, exactly what we thought he would do. You know, he came out, he gave a really good display. You know, David v. Goliath. He went for it from the start. Heyman does his normal, looks shocked, can't believe what's going on. But I think everybody knew what was going to happen in the end. But yeah, it was good. It was a good match. Finn did really well. But I must admit, I'm getting to like Brock more and more. I really am.
Really?
I mean, is Lesnar the best heavyweight champion there's been for 10 years? Maybe ever.
What?
Genuinely. You watch him. When you look at because of who he is, I mean, just in the storyline of what he is, where he's come from, it's great to have a champion that's been around that's unbeatable, really. You know, somebody that just keeps beating. I mean, I know Reigns beat him, but eventually that's not. But somebody who just keeps beating. Whoever steps up, he beats him and beats him. I quite like that.
You saw CM Punk's over 1 year long title reign, right?
No, so I'm saying to you, that's my black hole of WWE, innit? Did he ever fight Lesnar?
Yeah.
Did he?
Maybe. Yes.
And he bet him?
No, I think so.
No.
I am confident, but I am unconfident about that one.
I don't know. I honestly think the more I'm getting to like Lesnar more and more, I think, bizarrely, because I didn't like him at all, like 12 months ago. But there's just something about him, something about how he just beats people. I just think I think it might be the fact that he seems to be enjoying it more now.
He has definitely perked up somewhat.
Maybe because he's given up the other side of it now, you know. Maybe now he knows where his bread's buttered.
But that title may as well not be there.
Well, no, that's a good thing. Is that not a good thing, though? That you've got somebody. You want somebody like that. You want somebody who's just not in the same way that AJ Styles was with the SmackDown title, because you always thought a big guy could beat him. Brock is a big guy, you know. Brock can beat big guys. He can beat small guys. He beats quick guys. He's the champion, and maybe that's sometimes what you need. That somebody who just stands there and just beats all comers until.
Yeah. But this is the difference. Brock will not now wrestle until WrestleMania.
He will.
He won't.
He will now. He used to be like that. I think since he seems to not be going back to UFC, he's appearing a lot more on Raw and stuff now.
Because they've lumped him on a new contract for a load of dates with boatloads of money.
Yeah, well, if you're champ, that's what you get, innit? That's right about it. I mean, that's the thing. He's an attraction. You know, he's good. And like I said last week, I'm a huge Paul Heyman fan. So anything that keeps him on telly is good in my book.
There was an interesting subplot to this, in which I wouldn't be surprised if Finn Balor came up with this. Is that he went a lot at the guts.
Yes, from the off.
And of course, anyone that knows about Brock Lesnar's history and the reason he had to give up fighting you the first time round is because he had diverticulitis, which is an issue. It's inflamed bowels. So there was a point to him going for the gut, and why Brock had to sell that so much, because that's probably some of the best selling I've seen from Lesnar. He sold better for Finn Balor than he did for Braun Strowman, although we all know that they don't like each other.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the wrong person to pick. But the fight made sense, and this is the thing: they never mentioned the diverticulitis. No point was it mentioned by commentary or anything like that, when they should have been all over that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That is probably why. But I mean, like I said, I mean, Finn went. He did well. I like Finn Balor. He's good, but it's the size thing, isn't it? You know, he ain't ever gonna beat Brock Lesnar. It's just one of them things. I mean, at the end when he wins, and maybe that's why he did the big respect thing at the end. And by respect, I mean kick the living daylights out of him after the bell. You know, that was kind of a mark of respect, wasn't it, from Lesnar to Balor? It was, wasn't it? He's basically said, look, you could see he was pissed at how long the fight had gone on for, that he'd struggled, that he'd hurt him. So that's how they've kind of they've Finn, they've thrown respect towards Finn in that way. Because like I said, I think the only reason they had that match is because Strowman was injured. So he stepped into the play.
Just one last point on the diverticulitis thing. Before when he first came back from diverticulitis, his next match was against Alistair Overeem.
Okay.
first thing he did in that match, hit Brock in the gut. First thing he did, and he went on to win that, and Brock then retired because he knew that he had that massive bullseye on him.
Yeah.
That people were going to take advantage of. But it's stuff like that I really appreciate in wrestling. It's that clever way, and that's what guys like Finn Balor. And again, I am assuming that Finn Balor has come up with this, but stuff like that, which I really appreciate.
Well,
right.
Just obviously, because you didn't shoot me down, but you were a bit surprised. Where would you put Brock as in heavyweight champion list?
I fairly low. I don't appreciate the whole thing, and I was fed up of him before he lost it last time, and him winning it this time just caused groans for me again. This is the man who came out and didn't want to do anything with Dean Ambrose, who that awful WrestleMania match they had together. Was it WrestleMania match? I think it was.
Right. Okay.
This is a man I think he's brought decent matches since then because they've given him clever and ingenious opponents. He seems to like the small men more than he likes the big men. And Bryan, Styles last year, and Finn Balor all seem to have brought something good out of him. But I think maybe it's more them than him. But maybe I'm just being a bit, maybe I'm just being a bit biased on that one.
Yeah, no, I've got a different opinion. I just wondered what yours was. Like I said, I don't know. He's just grown on me as Brock. I quite like him. So
now we have the main event of the evening.
Yes.
The Men's Royal Rumble. Yeah. So it was a thing.
It was. First two people out was slightly surprising.
I appreciated it, I guess. Maybe comedy isn't the best way to start a Rumble. I don't know. But of course we had Elias.
Yeah.
And as number one, and he comes out to play a song, and then out comes Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
People.
You'd never you'd never pick his name out in a million years, would you?
In his original early 90s gear as well, probably not the same one. He probably wouldn't fit in the same one, but in a replica.
He still looked alright.
Again, he's probably far bigger to you than he is to me.
Yes.
The Jeff Jarrett that I was first introduced was the TNA, giving himself all the world titles. Jeff Jarrett, King of a Mountain. But of course, you've seen Attitude Era Jeff Jarrett and before, I presume.
Yes. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen him. It was such a surprise. You know, it's one of at that point I'm thinking, oh, I wonder who else is going to be coming out. And then obviously I was very disappointed, but nobody else from that era came out for the rest of the Royal Rumble. But it was good. It was a nice touch. I mean, it came out again on Raw, bizarrely, the night after, to try and get his. I wonder if he might even turn up again next week, but it must have been popular with the fans to get him back in on Raw the day after.
Yeah. He signed an exclusive deal with WWE, isn't he?
Has he really?
From those pesky tykes at AEW.
But yeah, so it got off to a decent start, I suppose. Entrant 5 or 6, I think, was the man we mentioned earlier, Gargano.
I love him so.
I can only imagine your reaction.
I was happy.
I did think that when I saw it.
But unsurprised. This is the point. No one really surprised me that much. Even Jeff Jarrett didn't surprise me that much because in the Hall of Fame last year, they've obviously had been dealings with him. They've had him on the network shows.
Yeah.
So he's obviously around the company and not been a big deal to me. I wasn't overly excited by him. I was very surprised and disappointed that there was no one else who went, oh, brilliant, him.
True. But how did you think Johnny did?
I think he did well. Again, there's only so much I'm going to showcase him for, but I enjoyed him coming out. I will talk about. I much prefer one of the gentlemen coming out later on. That we'll talk about. What was your thoughts of Gargano in the Rumble?
I thought it was good. I mean, it was nice to see him out. Obviously, because I'd only just seen him probably the day before watching the NXT. It was good. I thought he got good reception. Came out, did well. Like I said, he managed to get rid of Ambrose. They get rid of Ambrose later on, which is quite a big scalp, I suppose, for a new guy coming in. But the size difference in him and some of the big WWE lads was quite telling. Like I said before, I didn't realise he was so slight. That's what I was saying earlier about. I don't know whether or not you would push him up or keep him where he is. But I thought he did well. He's a good character. I do like him. Like I said, fine. He knows the cameras. He knows how to play to things. He was in there for quite a while. It was impressive. It was cool.
So I will let you lead the conversation here somewhat because you've got far more notes than I have. I had 3 bullet points. You've got a lot more.
These are only like mine. As it's going through, I was just trying to note where people came in at in case they went on to win. So like, I just put Samoa Joe came in at 8. At that point, I'm thinking he's not winning it. I'm thinking he might not even get to the last 4. He did well when he came in. Ran about, put a few people out, did his stuff. Then he gets eliminated, like I was saying earlier. So Mustafa Ali, I think, again, is getting a bit of a push. I mean, he gets rid of Samoa Joe, It's quite a big scalp for him. You see Joe outside looking pretty peed off by it. You kind of think that might be something that runs on SmackDown. Then Rollins comes in at 10. And then out again, I'm thinking, is he going to win it from there? Or is he just going to be in? Is he going to set up a new beef with somebody else? Did No Way Jose come from NXT?
Yes.
Terrible. What a terrible
he was
thing.
a joke in NXT as well.
I mean, did he not come in last year's Rumble and do the exact same thing?
Probably.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he came in last year's Rumble and did the exact same thing.
Does he even feature on Raw anymore?
Very, very rarely.
He's like a poor man's Adam Rose.
It's such a bizarre thing. I just don't get it. I mean, I think he's only had 2 matches on Raw. He comes out and dances a bit every now and again, or you see him dancing in the back. No, I don't get it. It's a weird person to move up with the gimmick. I presume he's a decent wrestler, or why move him up, or is it just for the gimmick?
I think it's just for the gimmick. He didn't really showcase much in NXT. He wasn't there for long, and he's sort of he a bit of a jobber in NXT.
No, okay, nice. It's a strange one. I mean, McIntyre came in. I mean, McIntyre's been one of the people who's been around the top of the card on Raw for 6 months since he came in. Since he had the feud, since he came in with Ziggler. He comes in at 16, and I'm thinking he's going to be in towards the end. When Dolph Ziggler finally appears, then you think McIntyre's not going to win, because that's obviously their little storyline, going to either come to an end or kick off again, And then, of course, I can imagine your face when number 21 walked in. They didn't really, you know what? This thing annoyed me when it got to his number. They didn't cut to him straight away, did they? You saw his name appear on the LED board underneath the ring, and they were showing the rest. And you think, come on, give him the opening straight away. If you're going to bring somebody up and try and promote them, then go and do it properly. But he must have been excited. How did you think he did?
Did you not understand? When you talk about Gargano, I went, yeah, I think he did all right. I felt like Black looked not just like he belonged there, but I think he stood out as
No, I agree entirely.
Head and shoulders above a lot of the guys in that ring. I'm going to sit here and say this now. I would have given the win in the Royal Rumble to Black. Having come in, win the Royal Rumble, boom, there's your star. And he then goes on and takes on...
That's the thing, isn't it?
Against either Lesnar or Bryan. Because I was going to say, having go take on Lesnar and take him out. But Daniel Bryan is just as an interesting and exciting opponent for him to go for. So you could tease it for a while.
You could. I mean, I think I wrote in the note, I think he looked good. I think he looked really good. He came in, he didn't look different from anybody else. He stood out. He had a good little thing. Because obviously Pete Dunne, he was in as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He had a good thing where Pete Dunne seemed to dislocate Aleister Black's finger or something, or they made it look like that, and he snaps it back into place. It's just a nice little nod, isn't it? A nice little clip or something. But yeah, I was really impressed with him. And I presume that's a real injury, or he's just carrying on his character injury from the NXT, because he was limping, wasn't he, Black, with his thigh.
You would carry on, wouldn't you, from
yeah, I suppose,
before, because we're living in a kayfabe.
I suppose, but no, I thought it was really impressive. And he can't have done himself any harm with how it went for him.
Yeah, Pete Dunne's thing is working the limbs.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Oh, he's another one that's really good, and he's real sort of technical wrestler, and he's another one of those that does the moves. You go, oh, that does look like it really hurts.
Yeah. He had a few. I think he even had McIntyre down on his knees at one point, just by holding his finger the wrong way, or bending his arm back and stamping on his wrist. And that's the first time I've seen him. Strange get-up, right?
Yeah, the first time I saw him, which was at the first UK Championship tournament, and I was like, what is he coming out in? He looks like a prat. But the more you see him in the ring, more you're like, it doesn't matter what you wear. And it's his way of speaking, and he's got that sort of pockmarked face. But no, the more I've seen it, he very, very quickly grew on me. And
It's a proper 80s get up, innit?
yeah, sort of that old school.
Why not? I suppose why not? Strowman 27, which I think enforces the is injured thing. Coming in so that's why he didn't have the big match.
And also then he was on the outside for a long time.
Yeah, that's it. So I think we're right about that. Ziggler comes in 28, like we said before, eliminates McIntyre. Probably the end of that now. I don't know where
So
Ziggler.
what's this they've done with Ziggler? Ziggler quit again for the second year in a row.
No, McIntyre basically. They were tag team, weren't they, for a while, and then McIntyre turned on
each other, and
yeah,
I know that.
And then Ziggler tried to turn face, I think, a bit, and come, because McIntyre's such a big heel, and then he just got beat, and then just disappeared, literally dropped off screen, and then McIntyre keeps mentioning him in his promos, saying, "I finished Ziggler, I finished the Shield," and then I suppose when Ziggler comes out, you think, oh, he's either gonna get thrown straight out, or he's actually going to stop McIntyre, and he did. And that's probably going to be the end of their beef now. You think that's probably going to be... There's no point in carrying that on. It's been going on for 6 months, But where Ziggler goes from there, I don't know. It's strange. Where does he go? Where does he go into the Intercontinental title thing again now, maybe? Look at Lashley, something like that.
That's the point, isn't it? Where does he go? He's not going to go back to our title picture. He's done everything else.
Yeah, I know.
Multiple times.
It's a strange one now with him. I mean, obviously Lashley's Intercontinental on Raw. Lashley, Finn Balor's out on mic, getting his round of applause for putting up such a big fight, and Lashley comes out and destroys him. So that's obviously going to be a bit of a feud, maybe for the next pay-per-view. That'll probably go on. Whether or not Ziggler comes back after that and maybe challenges, I don't know. You can't see him going up against Brock, obviously. It's just, I don't know. It's just going to have to think of a new storyline for him, I think.
And so, moving on, you've got Orton coming in at 29.
Orton, yeah. I forgot. I'm trying to think to myself, I'm thinking R-Truth's going to be 30, so who's left? And I couldn't think, anyway, it's Orton. And then you're thinking, sure, they're not going to give him a third Royal Rumble. He came out for a bit. You're thinking, all right, what's happening? 30 comes. R-Truth starts to come out on mic, singing his song. And then you see somebody, come out from the back in the darkness, and you're trying to think, who's this person coming out here? And it's Nia Jax, of all people, who smashes R-Truth into the LED board and then makes her way to the ring to compete in the men's Royal Rumble.
So, and this is what we've got here. Nia Jax, why? Now she joins the company of Beth Phoenix and Chyna in being women that have competed in the men's Royal Rumble. Cool. I totally get why those two women were in the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I was trying to. I couldn't think why. I can't think why, other than I don't know. Other than just giving her some more screen time. I don't know. I mean, she came out again on Raw this week and had a bit of beef with Dean Ambrose. I don't know. Are they going to take her down? Are they going to try and take her down the China road?
Dean Ambrose, who's leaving.
Is he really?
WWE confirmed it. He's not renewing his contract.
When's that? From when?
I don't know when he leaves, but he's going.
Interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, it's just a strange one. Why she's going in against men? Because she's now, for the next pay-per-view, she's in for the tag team belts. So she's.
They have a women's Royal Rumble.
She
was in it.
Till the end.
Why Chyna and Beth Phoenix. There's two reasons why they were both in the men's Royal Rumble. Firstly, because there wasn't a women's Royal Rumble back then.
Yes.
So to get these women in a Rumble, they had to do that. Secondly, they were good. They were both good at what they did.
Yeah, it was. No, it's strange. It is strange. But anyway, so she comes in and gets an RKO, which I thought was class. To be honest, I was really pleased. She throws. What does she get rid of? Oh, she gets rid of Mustafa Ali. Yeah, I think she throws Mustafa Ali out because on SmackDown, Randy Orton makes a joke about it, which is quite funny. Yeah, and then she gets a couple of moves. I think Rey Mysterio hits her with something, then finally gets rid of her. So she's not even like she comes out and has a massive impact on anything, She just literally comes out, hangs about for a few minutes, and gets thrown over the top rope.
So this is the thing, she took a finisher from everyone that was in the ring, pretty much. So she took an RKO, then a super kick, and then a 619, then a super kick or something.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. Ziggler might get... Yeah, Ziggler will give her a super kick, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, shout. So it's just bizarre. I don't know why they did that.
It serves no point. And you see why they gave Ali the high-profile eliminations early on, because it gives him a little bit of a cushioning for being
the one who gets thrown off. Yeah, exactly. Which is strange. And then you end up with Strowman and Rollins.
See, there's a point where I saw it was just Ziggler and Andrade Cien Almos, who we can't forget.
Of course. Actually, you know what? He's growing on me, and I quite like him.
But I saw him and Ziggler, and I was like, Ziggler can't win it. Are they going to give it to Andrade? They're going to get... Andrade is great in the ring, not so great in the mic. His real selling point is Zelina Vega, who's brilliant. I'm a massive Zelina Vega fan. And then, of course, Strowman gets in, and I go, oh...
Yeah, I know.
And then Rollins gets in, and I go, oh, yeah, you and all.
Rollins was the bookie's favourite, wasn't he, all along? That's the thing. He's been the man who Triple H has been pushing over on Raw. I did think Strowman was going to beat him, to be fair. But maybe that's because Strowman's not fit still, and they can't have... There's 2 pay-per-views before WrestleMania, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they did it. And Rollins can now take that and run to WrestleMania with it. I mean, he comes out on Raw this week, points at the sign as they all do. He has to pick an opponent. Daniel Bryan's in the building, Brock Lesnar's in the building. He comes out to do his piece, and Brock destroys him. I think he gives him 5 F5s. Leaves him on the ropes, but leaves him shouting, "Is that all you've got?" You know, he's going to Brock Lesnar, "Is that all you've got?" As in, I can take it. So that's going to be who he's going to pick, obviously. That's going to be the WrestleMania match. But I don't know. He's obviously filling in for Reigns, isn't it? That's it. Reigns was the man who should be champion now. Who Vince wanted as champion all along. Finally gets to that point, and then unfortunately he falls ill. So his Rollins now just basically picking up that mantle.
They have got history because Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank on Lesnar to win his first WWE title, which I loved that moment, by the way. That's one of my favourite WrestleMania moments.
Is that where he runs out?
He runs out, so it's it's Lesnar versus Reigns in what was a great match itself.
Yeah. Where
basically Lesnar was beating Reigns, and Reigns was doing the "I'm not giving up" and trying to fight from underneath. And then he comes out and at the end of the match, I can't remember which one he took out and pinned, but yeah, and then runs off the title.
He pins Reigns, doesn't he? He comes out.
I think so.
Reigns wins it, doesn't he? And then his mate comes out and beats him and takes it off him straight away.
I watched this one live, that one live, so I was very, very tired at the end. So my memory might not be as clear as everything else.
No,
I remember being very buzzed and very excited.
But yeah, so Rollins wins. So Rollins will probably now name Lesnar, and that'll be the match at WrestleMania.
I don't know. It's just it doesn't grab me as a winner. And I know they tried something different, making a champion, making a star last year with Nakamura, and we've talked about how that went. But I don't know. They just could have done something for someone that people are more excited by. I think people are getting bored by Rollins.
I agree. I think his last 2 matches against Ambrose, there've been people, the chant's been going up, you know, about being bored, about not enjoying it. You know, this is boring, I don't know. But then again, he sells a lot of T-shirts, he sells a lot of merchandise. He's obviously very popular with the powers that be at WWE. He's been around for a long time now. They do, well, Monday Night Raw, isn't it, you know. He don't miss a show. He's always there, turns up, fights whoever. So I don't know, maybe he deserves it. How you make him more interesting, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe he'd been better off if they'd have put him up against Bryan, you know. Maybe that'd have been better.
I don't know. It's my biggest issue. He doesn't seem to have a personality. Like, genuinely, you look at him. Look at some of the Attitude Era stars, The Rock, Mick Foley, even some of the smaller guys. They've all got a personality. They've all got this character. What is everyone's personality? What is his character? Who is he? He's nothing. He's no one. He's just a bloke that comes out and wrestles decent matches. That's it.
True. Yeah. I don't know. They're obviously gonna. Maybe they'll build. Maybe we're wrong, and it'll end up being a good feud with him and Brock. But I'll be disappointed if he beats Brock. To be honest.
Oh yeah, we all know your love for Brock.
I know. It's only because secretly I want the Undertaker to come back and beat Brock for one last match.
Brilliant. So anything else to add to the Royal Rumble before we move on?
No, it was very long.
Oh, 1 point on Nia Jax.
Go on.
If they were going to pick a woman to come out in the men's Royal Rumble, why shouldn't it have been Becky Lynch? Why shouldn't it have been the man, Becky Lynch, coming out in the Men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I never thought of that, you know. I didn't. Never, it's a size thing, innit? That's basically it, innit? I mean, you throw Becky Lynch, and at the time you've got Strowman, McIntyre, and Seth.
If she could have come out, had someone that's sort of just about hanging on, and just sort of taken them out. So you put Ali, and someone's just thrown over, and he's just about stayed on, and his hands just there, or he's just sort of done that thing where they're lying on the bottom on the apron, having just survived being knocked out.
I suppose then you've got two women.
Runs in, kicks them out, and then just gets taken out.
You know what? Actually, it wouldn't have been a bad thing to do because you could have had Flair win the women's. Becky wins.
You're not giving Becky the win in the Men's Royal Rumble.
No, but you could.
Let's not jump the shark on this one.
But you could. That's what I'm saying. If you come down, there's only two people left in, and she gets the last person in. And let's say, like you said, it's Mustafa Ali, and he's just throwing somebody on the top rope, but she runs in and quickly knocks. You know, then all of a sudden, then she's the man. You know, there's no point if you're going to put in the Men's Royal Rumble, she has to win it. You don't put her in there to beat somebody and get thrown out.
No, what I'm saying is, she comes out. So you swap the Royal Rumbles around. So the Women's Rumble closes it, and the Men's Rumble. So she comes out, takes out R-Truth with a chair or something, and she goes in. So she kicks out Ali, and then she gets in the face of some of the blokes, and she's there. I'm not scared of you. I'm the man. You know. And then she gets taken out. So she's come in and she's showing the balls that she's got. She showed that she's not afraid of him, even though he'd been chucked out. She still had that. She's still proving that. Then she comes out and to spot on the wins that.
I don't know. I quite like her winning the Men's Rumble better.
Can you imagine the reaction? Can you imagine?
No, if you're thinking story-wise, then you'd have Flair winning one and she wins one, and they both pick Rousey.
Mate, they're still having pay-per-views in a country where they can't actually have women wrestle, let alone letting the women win the Men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'll let you have that. That's very true.
So this is 7 hours long if you like us to watch.
A long time.
Add on to Takeover last night, 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, the one other thing I was going to say about the Rumble was there was no EC3, which I thought we might see. There was no Lars Sullivan. Well, these people have been trailing. There was no Big Show, no Kane, who the trails before as being the person who's been in the most Rumbles and eliminated the most people. I thought there was a few disappointing no-shows.
I'm not surprised Kane didn't come out because he got a lot of flack last time he was wrestling.
But I mean, he could have just come out and done 4 or 5 minutes. It's just popping it, you know.
Yeah, but he is a mayor now. He's he's in the political office. And it was used as a weapon against him when he joined. So it doesn't surprise me totally.
Okay.
EC3 and Lars Sullivan does surprise me, but then it just shows what a bloated roster they've got. But then didn't know where Jose needs to come out for that, whatever it was.
I know. This is the thing. You've got people coming out, but they've been trailing them two lads I mentioned there on Raw and SmackDown. Neither have fought or spoke. You've not seen anything of this Sullivan guy yet. They just keep trailing a video. So, which is bizarre. EC3, like I said last week, you see him stood at the back sometimes. I don't know. It's strange. Very strange.
So, given it was 7 hours long, where would you have cut time?
God. So if you look back through the gate, I mean, it's hard because everyone's a title. I mean, they're all title matches, aren't they? That's the trouble. You could probably...
Yeah, but keep the world title. Now, in a perfect world, we've only got one women's title, one men's heavyweight title, and one men's cruiserweight title. We've got 3 title matches and then 2 rumbles.
That's the thing now. You've got a women's Royal Rumble as well, which they were both over an hour.
Take out the SmackDown tag team match.
Yeah, but then it's the boss's son, so you can't. This is it. You can't take the matches that are in there. You can't really take out. Maybe make them shorter. I mean, there were some long matches in there, but then I don't know. They are.
I would have taken out the US title match, taken out Gable and Rude, and I would have moved The Miz and Shane to the pre-show alongside the cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
Then you've only got world title matches on the main card, and just cut that a little bit off, probably off the Rumble.
Yeah, sure.
If you can get away with it.
You can throw people out quicker. So yeah, that's what you've done.
Prove you can get them in quicker because they never wait 90 seconds or 6 seconds, whatever they're supposed to.
No, they don't. No, you're right. So yeah, you could do that. It's a good idea. But yeah, 7 hours long. It was good. Look, it's just setting the scene in it for the next few months. Really, that's what it's done. It's set the scene for the next few months.
Any last words before we close the show out?
No, just it was enjoyable. We finally got written on paper that it'll be Rousey v The Man at WrestleMania. And like I said earlier, I think it will headline WrestleMania. And then we'll see what happens. I mean, what will happen with Flair now? What will happen with the men's titles? Who knows? We'll see. I mean, there's still 2 pay-per-views before WrestleMania, so things can change. I'm sure Strowman's got to be getting a title shot once he's fit, because I think he must have been promised one. Yeah, that's it really. I think we just have to wait and see now and see what happens. I always like the Royal Rumble. Maybe sentimentally, from my childhood, I always loved watching the Rumble. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
The Rumble has always been one of my favourite pay-per-views. Before, when we used to have to order pay-per-views before the network, the only 2 I ordered were always WrestleMania, always Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And there's something I really love about the Rumble match itself.
I agree. I'm the same.
Even if these 2 disappointed me.
Yeah, for large parts, yeah. But yeah, what is it, 6.5 out of 10?
I didn't realise we were doing numbers for the. Yeah, I'd say roughly the same, maybe just a 6. Because I was unhappy with Seth Rollins winning. But in general, the match quality was.
Yeah, the singles matches were decent.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, and maybe we'll see you again.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Anytime.
Hi guys, if you enjoyed this, please like, share and subscribe. And we have some more podcast goodness up on the screen for you now, which includes many wrestling podcasts and other types. And I'll have a little bit of a wrestling treat also on the other side. Cheers guys.